A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Hostess by Isaac Asimov.
I was so happy about it when I came home, almost triumphant. I dashed in the front door, peeled off my gloves, threw my hat on the side table, and tossed my coat over the back of a chair.
Well, you missed supper.
Drake, we're going to have him here.
Who here? What are you talking about?
The doctor from Hawkins Planet. Didn't you realize that was what today's conference was about?
When you say the doctor from Hawkins Planet, do you mean the Hawkins site you've got at the Institute?
Well, of course. Who else could I possibly mean?
May I ask what the devil you mean by saying we'll have him here?
Darling, the Hawkins site would like to stay at a private house somewhere where he won't be bothered with official ceremony, where he'll be able to proceed more according to his own likes and dislikes. I find it quite understandable.
Whenever you start using formal sentences, I know you're hiding extreme irritation.
Well, you don't seem to be trying to hide it at all. Well, what's the matter?
Look, I don't see where we've got room for extraterrestrial visitors.
Are you serious? He can stay in the spare room. Honestly, Drake, all we have to do is show a certain amount of adaptability.
Sure, just a little adaptability. The Hawkins site breathes cyanide. We'll just adapt ourselves to that, I suppose.
He carries cyanide in a little cylinder. You won't even notice it.
Mm-hmm. And what else is there about them I won't notice?
Nothing else. They're perfectly harmless. They're even vegetarians.
Well, what about us? Do we eat meat ourselves, or will that make us look like cannibals to him? I won't live on salads to suit him, I warn you.
Drake, it means very much to me.
Well, why?
Because if he stays here for any length of time, I can study him real closely. Very little work has been done on the biology and psychology of the individual Hawkins site or of any of the extraterrestrial intelligences. Surely you must see the opportunity. He stays here. We speak to him, watch him, observe his habits.
Look, I've spoken to men who are in charge of security groups watching various Hawkins site missions on Earth. The missions stay in the rooms assigned to them, and they don't leave for anything but the most important official business. They have nothing to do with Earthmen. It's quite obvious that they're as revolted by us as I personally am by them.
Drake, he's a doctor. He's coming here for medical research, and I'll grant you that he probably doesn't enjoy staying with human beings and will probably find us perfectly horrible. But he must stay just the same.
All right. Have it your own way. You sure you don't want any coffee?
No. Drake, you're not angry about this, are you?
No, I'm not angry.
Most of my friends had been surprised when I married Drake because they couldn't understand my marrying a policeman. I explained he wasn't simply a policeman. He was a member of the World Security Board, but most of the staff at the Institute thought it rather odd that I hadn't married a biologist or at least an anthropologist, even a chemist, but certainly not a policeman. I was waiting for Drake with some apprehension that evening as I sat in the living room. Hark Tolan, the Hawkins site, was standing quietly in the middle of the room. He was not sitting since he was not anatomically constructed to sit. He stood on two sets of limbs placed close together, while a third pair, entirely different in their construction, were suspended from a region that would have been the upper chest in the human being. His skin was hard, glistening, and ridged, and his face wore a distant resemblance to something alienly bovine.
Mrs. Smollett, you must forgive my English. The construction of my mouth, combined with the absence of incisors and canine teeth, is an obstacle to clear speech.
I think you speak very well.
Thank you.
My husband will be home soon, and then we'll eat.
Your husband?
Well,
Husband?
Yes, you know. Mr. Smollett.
A male, of course. You must forgive me, Mrs. Smollett. Perhaps the greatest source of confusion among the 5 known races of the galaxy lies in the differences among them in regard to their sex life and the social institutions that grow around it.
I understand that.
The concept of husband and wife, for instance, exists only on Earth. I can achieve a sort of intellectual understanding of what that means, never an emotional one.
Dr. Tolan, I've consulted the Institute in preparing a menu, and I trust you'll find nothing in it that will upset you. Drake? Drake, is that you?
Yeah.
I'm in the living room, dear.
I suppose he's all delivered, complete.
Drake, this is Dr. Hark Tolan of Hawkins Planet. Dr. Tolan, my husband.
Good evening, Dr. Tolan.
Mr. Smollett?
Would you care for a drink?
I'm not particularly thirsty.
On Earth, there's a custom of drinking liquids which have been fortified with ethyl alcohol. We find it stimulating.
Oh, yes. I'm afraid, then, that I must decline. Ethyl alcohol would interfere most unpleasantly with my metabolism.
Well, so it does to Earthmen, too. But I understand, Dr. Tolan. Would you object to my drinking?
Of course not.
Good. I need one. A stiff one.
He stood at the table. I tried not to look at him as he ate. His wide, lipless mouth split his face alarmingly as he ingested food, and in chewing, his large jaws moved from side to side. There was evidence of his ungulate ancestry. I found myself wondering whether he would chew his cud later, and then I was afraid that Drake would get the same idea and leave the table in disgust, but he was taking everything quite calmly.
I imagine, Dr. Tolan, that the cylinder at your side holds cyanide.
Quite so.
Pure cyanide?
I hope you are not considering possible danger. I know the gas is highly poisonous to you, and I do not need a great deal. None of it emerges, except when I actually suck at the tube, which is fixed at the corner of my mouth.
I see. And you really must have the gas to live?
Are you not a biologist, Mr. Smollett?
No, Dr. Tolan. It's merely a minor government official. My wife's friends call me a policeman. Tell me, what happens if you don't breathe cyanide? Do you, just go like that?
Not quite. The absence of it would be equivalent to slow strangulation.
Mm-hmm.
It's also very painful, difficult to treat. I've done some research on the problem.
I find it difficult to keep thinking of you as a doctor.
I understand what you mean. I find it difficult to think of you as a policeman.
I gather that you're not here on a pleasure trip. Huh?
No. I intend to study this queer planet you call Earth.
Queer? In what way?
It is always amazing to me to find how little you Earthmen understand your own characteristics. There are 5 intelligent races in the galaxy. Over and over, it is you Earthmen, more than any of the others, who are unique. Your people are the only ones which find hydrogen cyanide poisonous. Yours is the only form of intelligent life which is carnivorous. Yours is the only form of life which has not developed from the grazing animal. And most interesting of all, yours is the only form of intelligent life known which stops growing upon reaching maturity.
Well, you don't look very large, Dr. Tolan. I should say that you're an inch taller than I, which would make you 6'2". Are you young, or are you just small on Hawkins Planet?
Neither. We grow at a diminishing rate with the years, so that at my age it would take 15 years to grow an additional inch. But we never entirely stop. And, of course, as a consequence, we never entirely die.
Did you hear that, Rose?
I never knew that before.
You mean people on Hawkins Planet are immortal?
No people are truly immortal. Few of us live more than several centuries of your time. Still, it is unpleasant to think that death may come involuntarily. It is something which to us is extremely horrible.
Oh, we're quite used to it.
You Earthmen live with the thought. We do not. This is why we are disturbed to find that the incidence of inhibition death has been increasing in recent years.
What is this inhibition death?
A pathological cessation of growth. It's a wasting disease. A tragic one. And absolutely incurable. It's fatal within a year.
What causes it?
Mr. Smollett, we know nothing about the cause of the disease.
Well, then why did you come to Earth to study it?
Because, again, Earthmen are unique. They are the only intelligent beings who are immune. The inhibition death affects all other races, while Earthmen are immune. Somewhere in the biochemistry of the Earthite, there is the secret of that immunity. How interesting it would be to find it.
Well, now, look here. You can't say that Earthmen are immune. From where I sit, it looks as if the incidence is 100%. All Earthmen stop growing, and all Earthmen die. We've all got the inhibition death.
Earthmen live up to 70 years after the cessation of growth. That is not death as we know it. Your equivalent disease is rather one of unrestrained growth. Cancer, you call it.
Drake was being pleasant to Dr. Tolan. I wasn't sure whether it was for my sake or for his own. Drake has never gone out of his way to please me. Sometimes when I'm gloomy, I look at him across the table and ask myself, why did he marry me? And suddenly, after dinner in the living room, Dr. Tolan asked a question which surprised me.
You are a policeman, Mr. Smollett?
Yes.
I wonder, could you show me through one of the police departments on your planet?
Well, I don't belong to a police department in exactly the way you imagine. However, I have some contacts in the New York City Department.
Would I be able to visit the Missing Persons Bureau?
Why are you interested in Missing Persons Bureau?
Because there again, you are unique. There's no such thing as a missing person on our planet. We're always aware of each other's exact location, no matter where on the planet we might be.
Can you feel such awareness even now, on Earth?
You mean across space? No, I'm afraid not. But you see the importance of the matter. All the uniqueness of Earth should be linked. If the lack of this sense can be explained, perhaps the immunity to inhibition death can be also. Tell me truthfully, Mr. Smollett, if Mrs. Smollett were to leave this room and enter another without your having seen her do so, would you really not be aware of her location?
I really would not.
Amazing. Please do not be offended by the fact that I find it revolting as well.
Drake.
Yes, I'm awake.
Why were you talking about the inhibition death to Dr. Tolan?
I'm taking an interest in your work, Rose. You've always wanted me to take an interest.
I'd rather you weren't sarcastic.
Rose, I'm tired. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, right now.
I want no questions from you and no interference. You do your job and I'll do mine.
The nature of my job is open and known.
The nature of my job isn't, by definition, but I'll tell you this. Our six-legged friend is here in this house for some definite reason. You weren't picked as biologist in charge for any random reason. 2 days ago, he'd been inquiring about me at the commission. But that's my job, and I won't discuss it with you any further. Do you understand?
No. But I won't question you if you don't want me to.
All right, then go to sleep.
I lay stiffly on my back, and the minutes passed and the quarter hours. I was trying to fit the pieces together. One picture remained clear in my mind. It hovered over me mockingly. At the end of the evening, the Hawkinsite had turned to me just before he left the room.
Good night, Mrs. Smollett. You're a most charming hostess.
I wanted to giggle then. How could he call me a charming hostess? To him, I must have been a horror, a monstrosity with too few limbs and too narrow a face. But then I saw Drake. He turned white. For one instant, his eyes had burned with something that looked like terror. I'd never before known Drake to show fear of anything. And the picture of that instant of pure panic remained with me until all my thoughts finally sagged into the oblivion of sleep. I remember one question that nagged at me through the haze. Why did he marry me?
I found your Missing Persons Bureau interesting in that the large majority of missing persons are males.
Oh, well, that's not mysterious, Dr. Tolan. You simply didn't realize the economic setup we have on Earth.
My wife is an example of the minority of women who are capable of making their own way in the world.
Would you call the Missing Persons Bureau of New York a fair sampling of such cases in the planet at large?
Yes, I should think so.
Is there then an economic explanation for the fact that since interstellar travel has been developed, the percentage of young males among the missing is more pronounced than ever?
Well, that's even less of a mystery than the other. Nowadays, a runaway can hop the nearest space freighter. They're always looking for crewmen. No questions asked.
It's almost always young men in their first year of marriage.
Well, that's just the time a man's troubles seem the greatest. If he survives the first year, there's usually no need to disappear at all.
Would it offend you if I disconnected for a period of time?
Disconnected?
It's like sleep.
Oh.
I hope you haven't had too exhausting a day.
Just that I've been absorbing so many new and unusual concepts that I feel a desire for a little disconnection.
Drake, we've been sitting here for 10 minutes. Aren't you going to speak to me?
About what?
Last night you said you'd speak to me tomorrow. Well, I'm ready now.
I thought it was agreed that you wouldn't question me about my business in this matter.
I think it's too late for that. I know too much about your business by now.
What? What do you mean?
Drake, let go of my arm.
What are you talking about?
Dr. Tolan thinks that Earth is spreading the inhibition death purposely. That's it, isn't it?
Where did you get that idea?
It's true, isn't it?
I want to know exactly why you say that. Don't play games with me, Rose. This is for keeps.
Why don't you ask Dr. Tolan? He's an outstanding worker in the field. I looked over his papers this afternoon.
And what are his theories about the origin of the disease? Try to remember, Rose.
I think he blames Earth, but I think he admits they know nothing about how the disease is spread.
Well, I'll find out about this right now.
Drake, what are you going to do? What's that?
It's my gun. I'm going to ask him a few questions.
He ran out of the bedroom, down the corridor towards Dr. Tolan's room. I ran after him, caught him just as he entered the door. The Hawkinsite was standing there, motionless, his eyes unfocused, his 4 standing limbs sprawled out in 4 directions as far as they would go.
Now keep quiet. He'll gradually become aware of me. Get out of here.
No, Drake. What are you doing?
Quiet. There, you see? The skin on his face is beginning to quiver. Well, that's about all, Dr. Tolan. Don't throw in connection with any of the limbs. Your sense organs and the voice box will be quite enough.
Why do you invade my disconnection chamber? And why are you armed? What do you want?
The answer to certain questions.
With a gun in your hand? Sorry, Mr. Smollett, that the duties toward a guest are so badly understood on Earth.
You're no guest of mine, Dr. Tolan. You entered my home under false pretenses.
You had better shoot. It will save time.
You are convinced that you'll answer no questions? Now, that in itself is suspicious. It seems that you consider certain answers to be more important than your life.
I consider the principle of courtesy to be very important. You, as an Earthman, may not understand.
Perhaps not. But I can understand one thing. Your cyanide cylinder. Suppose I pull it out of your mouth. Rose, hold your breath until I close the valve. There. All right, Tolan. You realize what will happen to you if you don't answer the questions I'm going to ask you. Cyanide lack. It would be a most uncomfortable death. I'm only an Earthman. I can't appreciate its true horrors, but you can, can't you?
Drake, give him the cylinder. Give it back to him.
You have about 1 hour, I think, until the effects are irreversible. Talk quickly, Dr. Tolan. You'll have your cyanide cylinder back.
What are your questions?
What are your theories concerning the inhibition death? Why did you really come to Earth? What is your interest in the Missing Persons Bureau?
For years, I have been investigating the cell structure of my patients suffering from inhibition death. I've been forced to use the utmost secrecy, since the methods I used were frowned on by my people. Your society would have similar feelings against human vivisection, for instance. For this reason, I could not present the results I obtained to my fellow physicians until I had verified my theories here on Earth.
And what are they?
The inhibition death is entirely a disease of the mind.
You mean it's psychosomatic?
No, Miss Smollett, it is not psychosomatic. It is a true disease of the mind, a mental infection. My patients had double minds. Beyond and beneath the one that obviously belonged to them, there was evidence of another one, an alien mind. In short, there are not only 5 intelligences in the galaxy, but 6. And the 6th is parasitic.
This is impossible. You must be mistaken, Dr.
No, I'm not mistaken. One can imagine such a parasite through the course of millions of years, perhaps losing all portions of its physical being. It would become nothing but pure mind, living in some mental fashion we cannot conceive of on the minds of others, particularly on the minds of Earthmen.
Why particularly Earthmen?
Have you not surmised that the 6th intelligence is a native of Earth? Mankind from the beginning has lived with it, has adapted to it, is unconscious of it. It is why the higher species of terrestrial animals, including man, do not grow after maturity and eventually die. And it is what is called natural death. It is the result of this universal parasitic infestation. Where Earthmen could survive the infection for decades with little harm, we others die a quick death within a year. Give me back my cylinder. You have your answer.
What about the Missing Persons Bureau?
Drake, look at his eyes. Give it back to him.
As we are not well adapted to the intelligence that infests man, neither is it well adapted to us. It can live on us, but it cannot reproduce, with ourselves alone as the source of its life. The inhibition death is therefore not directly contagious among our people.
What are you implying, Dr. Tolan?
The Earthman remains the prime host for the parasite, and an Earthman may infect one of us if he remains among us. But the parasite, once it is located in an intelligence of the outer worlds, must somehow return to an Earthman if it expects to reproduce. We are infected and reinfected as the parasites return to Earth and come back to us via the mind of Earthmen who travel through space.
And the missing persons?
Are the intermediate hosts. The masculine terrestrial mind seems better suited for their purpose. But once reproduction has been taken care of, the infested male leaves by spaceship for the outer worlds. He disappears.
But this is impossible. What you say implies that the parasite mind can control the actions of its host. That can't be, or we would have noticed their presence here on Earth.
The control may be very subtle, and may moreover be exerted only during the period of active reproduction. I simply point to your Missing Persons Bureau. Why do the young men disappear? I'm quite ill now, cyanide lack, and I cannot speak much longer.
And you alone of all your people have any knowledge of this theory of yours?
I alone. You will give me back my cyanide cylinder now. I have become quite weak.
Sure. Sure, Dr. Tolan. Rose.
Oh, no.
Rose, come out of here. Come on now. Come on.
He's dead. He's dead. You shot
Outside.
him.
Out. Quiet, Rose. Quiet. I told you to have nothing to do with this.
Let me go. I want to go. I want to go.
Why? Because of something it was my job to do? You heard what that creature was saying. You suppose I could allow him to return to his world and spread those lies? They'd believe him. What do you think would happen then? They would have to kill us all to stop that disease.
What he said wasn't a lie. It was true.
Oh, come on now. You're hysterical. You need sleep.
I know what he said was true because the Security Commission knows all about the same theory and knows it's true.
Why do you say a thing like that?
Because you let it slip yourself.
Now sit down. Sit down. Well, so I gave myself away, did I? When?
You turned white when Hark Tolan referred to me as a charming hostess. Hostess has a double meaning, Drake. A host is one who harbors a parasite.
Well, I had no idea I was so transparent. Look, Rose, I've done my best to keep you out of this.
The truth can't be held down forever. Somebody else will find out. You can't kill them all.
We know that, too. We have no choice.
Why? Why can't we combine with the other intelligences and wipe out the parasite?
No, you don't understand. Hark Tolan was right. Man and his prehistoric ancestors have been living with this parasitic intelligence for uncounted ages. We've not only become adapted to it, we've become dependent on it. It is no longer a case of parasitism. It's a case of mutual cooperation. You biologists have a name for it.
What are you talking about? Symbiosis?
Yes, exactly. We have a disease of our own, remember? It is a reverse disease, one of unrestrained growth. We've mentioned it already as a contrast to inhibition death. It's all very well to say that if we could remove the parasite, we would have eternal growth in life. But it's impossible for us. If for any reason the parasitic intelligence, as Hark Tolan calls it, does leave the human body, or if its relationship to the human mind is in any way impaired, growth does take place, but not in an orderly fashion. We call the growth cancer, and there you have it. There's no way of getting rid of the parasite. We're together for all eternity. To get rid of their inhibition death, extraterrestrials must first wipe out all vertebrate life on Earth. There is no other solution for them. So we must keep knowledge of it from them. Now do you understand?
He got the body out of the apartment. I sat there numbly. He lied to me. Cancer could not be a disease that was an expression of lost ability for normal growth. Cancer attacked children while they were still growing. It could even attack embryonic tissue. Cancer had nothing to do with the presence or absence of normal growth. Its absence would not cause cancer. Drake lied, but no one would believe me. The young men who disappeared were usually in the first year of their marriage. Whatever the process of reproduction of the parasite intelligence was, it must involve close association with another parasite. The type of close and continuous association, as in the case of newly married couples. The parasite could control actions. I'd report them both, Drake Smollett and Hark Tolan, to the Missing Persons Bureau. But they'd never find them, for they'd be out in space. I wanted to weep, but I couldn't. I was dry-eyed, and it was painful. I'd looked for the answers to so many questions, and I'd found them all. I even found the answer to the question I thought had no bearing on the subject. I finally learned why Drake had married me.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
Years ago, Mrs. Patricia Gregory's yacht was wrecked in the South Seas. 14 years Mrs. Gregory has searched the world over in hopes she might find her little daughter Joan alive and well, though the world has always believed the child was lost in the shipwreck. Now the Gregory yacht, the Joan Gregory, is on the high seas, once more searching for little Joan. Captain Bradford is in charge of the cruise for Mrs. Gregory, and Jerry Hall, a young amateur radio operator from California, is with them. The yacht is 5 days out of Los Angeles, running through the South Seas. We find Mrs. Gregory, Captain Tex Bradford, and Jerry Hall in the chart room on the Joan Gregory.
Gee, but it's great to be really in the South Seas with you, Mrs. Gregory. Now that Captain Bradford has quit being suspicious of me.
You could hardly blame him, Jerry. We didn't know there was another radio in the country that would receive on that wavelength, much less transmit on it.
Oh, forget it, son. I guess you'll do.
I only hope we won't be disappointed. If we do locate this island, and if the little girl on it is, Oh, if she only could be my little Joan.
Now, Patricia, don't get too worked up over this story.
But this is the real thing. I know it is. Nobody would make up a story like that about your little girl. And look at the way those mysterious radio messages have kept coming in every day we've been at sea.
I know, Jerry. But people have made up some wild tales to try and get some of my money. You know, I've offered a big reward for news of Joan.
It's swell you named this yacht after her.
I've thought and prayed of nothing but Joan for 14 years. Now, I may be near her at last.
Well, if there's any truth in this story, we'll soon know it. We're about 4,000 miles from Los Angeles.
Are we getting close to the island?
We're getting close to the spot on the chart where the old sailor said the island was, if that means anything.
We've just got to find an island where he said it was.
But the chart shows there isn't an island anybody could live on within 100 miles of the position the old man gave.
Right, Jerry, and the chart is probably correct. We'll keep looking around. A lot of ocean in this vicinity. And if there is such an island...
Tex, you do think there's a chance, don't you?
Now, don't get your hopes up. There's always a chance of anything happening in the ocean. Come in. Come on in, Skipper. What's on your mind?
Radio.
What about the radio?
Message.
What about?
Sailor.
Let's have it quickly, Skipper. More news about the island?
No.
Come on, Skipper. Out with it. What about the old sailor?
Dead.
Dead?
Dead?
No more news, eh?
Nope.
That all there was to it?
Yep.
Then we know as much as the old sailor will ever be able to tell us about his magic island and the little girl on it.
I'm afraid so, Mrs. Gregory. But if the old man told the truth about the position of the island, we can find it easy enough.
That all, Skipper?
Nope.
Got something on your mind?
Yep.
Let's have it.
Come.
Me?
You.
I'll be with you in a minute, Skipper. We've got a little work to do on this chart now.
Now.
Important?
Very.
Okay, you and Jerry work on that chart, Pat. I've got to go up on the bridge with the skipper.
Gee, Captain Bradford's sure a dandy fella, isn't he?
I think so, Jerry.
Uh-huh. I can see you do.
Why, Jerry.
Oh, I don't mind. It's all right with me.
Well, thank you, Jerry.
Oh, that's all right. Say, there's something I don't quite understand about this boat of yours.
Oh, yes?
That funny old guy that was just in here and won't say more than a word at a time, he's the skipper, isn't he?
Yes, and though he does have a peculiar way of speaking, he's the best yacht captain I've ever seen.
Oh, sure. Anybody can see he knows his business on the water. But what I mean is, well, you call him skipper and Captain Bradford captain. Now, all the boats I ever heard of, there was only one skipper, and he was the captain. Or only one captain, and he was the skipper. Or only one... Oh, now I'm all mixed up.
That's easy, Jerry. The skipper, Captain John Craig, is captain of my yacht. Captain Bradford's title is from the Army, and he acts as master and owner's representative when we're aboard the Joan Gregory. Anything else you'd like to know about me?
Well, gee, I don't mean to be rude, Mrs. Gregory, but you made me tell you all about myself, and you even had my dad come down to the dock and asked him a lot of questions.
So we did, Jerry. You must remember that you came to my house at midnight, a stranger. And surely you understand that in a case like this, we couldn't take any chances with you.
Well, I'm taking chances with you.
I never thought of it just that way, but perhaps you are, Jerry. Very well. Cross-examine.
Swell. Your house was a funny place, with a front door that took flashlight pictures of a fellow when he opened it.
I have a great many valuable things in my home.
Well, that part's all right. But how about the shortwave radio in your automobile? You know, it's against the law to have a shortwave set in your car, unless you're working for the government. Say, are you a G-man? No, I mean a G-lady?
I'm afraid I can't answer that, Jerry. At least not until we know you a little better. In the meantime, you can safely look to Captain Bradford for all your orders.
I'm glad to get that much of it straightened out anyhow.
And now that you're satisfied as to my officers, we'd better study this chart as Tex told us to.
Oh, may I ask you just one more thing about your little girl?
Of course.
Well, nobody knows exactly what she looks like now. But I've been thinking about that picture you showed me of yourself. You know, taken when you were about the same age Joan is now. Don't you think she would most likely look like that picture?
Why, I suppose she might. Why do you ask?
Well, to tell you the truth, Mrs. Gregory, I've been hoping she would look exactly like that picture.
Uh-huh.
Then if she'll only grow up to be as pretty as you are now, well, it's kind of nice for a fella to know what his girl is going to look like when she gets older.
Jerry, you're way ahead of yourself, I'm afraid. Why, you're just 16 now, and Joan would be barely 15.
Well, 16's pretty old. I guess I know what I want. And when we find Joan, well, you see, I'll show you.
Jerry, you do help me a lot. I've been rather hopeless and doubtful about it all. You seem to be just taking it for granted that we're really going to find my little girl.
I've got a hunch. And when I get a hunch, everything's going to come out slick.
Oh, Tex, what did the skipper say? What's wrong? The storm getting worse?
Sounded like it when you opened that door. But the boat isn't rolling any more than it was.
Well, Tex, what is it? You look so... Has something happened?
I don't think so yet. But if it hasn't happened, something is going to happen.
What?
The skipper took me up forward and showed me, well, things I'd never seen before.
Is the storm going to be a bad one?
Oh, that wouldn't make Tex act like this, Jerry. He's been through a lot of storms.
But this is different. This is one storm we can't go through.
What? Well, what do you mean, sir?
Just what I said, son. And if it doesn't make sense to you, then we're in the same boat.
Tell us what it is, Tex. Jerry and I aren't afraid. What's going on?
I've been standing up there on the bridge with the skipper for 10 minutes. The bow of this boat has been right up against what I'd call a heavy bank of fog, and there we stay.
Is the wind so high we can't make any headway?
Did you ever see a bank of fog stand? Stand perfectly still in that kind of a wind?
Tex, what are you getting at? A fog bank standing still in a gale. And the boat doesn't make any way?
No, you might as well come on deck, both of you. Then you won't think it's just me that's crazy. Come on. Now, come up forward and see it for yourselves.
Golly whiskers! That's some squall, all right. And we're running right smack into the center of it.
I've seen lots of these. Let the skipper make everything fast, and we'll go below and ride it out.
You've never seen one of these. We've been right here with the prow of this craft hard against that fog bank for the last half an hour. And the engines are full speed ahead.
You mean that fog is holding us here just like a brick wall?
Why, that's impossible.
I guess if the storm was hard enough, we'd almost stand still.
We might, Jerry, but that isn't it. Even if that could be the case, wouldn't this fog move a little? Wouldn't the roll of the boat change? And look around you. Wouldn't the storm be going someplace?
Golly gee, you're right, Captain. Look, Mrs. Gregory, the ocean is as smooth as if it had oil on it, everywhere except right in front of us. And the sky is clear. There is something funny about this.
What can it mean, Tex? I never heard of anything like this before. It's weird, uncanny. Just a smooth mountain of fog ahead, dead ahead. We're on the edge of a roaring storm, and yet we can't be, for all's clear around us. The motors are nearly tearing the boat to pieces, yet we don't move. What is it, Tex? What is it?
Now, don't get excited, Mrs. Gregory. I guess nothing can happen that the skipper and Tex and I can't handle.
I'm not exactly afraid.
No, nor I, but I'd like it better if we could understand it.
Will you let me try something, Captain? I've got an idea.
That's one more idea than I've got. Go to it, son.
Well, signal the engine room for full speed astern, and let's see what happens. I never heard of a storm that you couldn't run into or out of or around or away from or something.
We'll try it, Jerry. Full speed astern it is.
Now they're coming. It's pulling hard astern now.
But we don't move. The yacht acts as if she was tied up by the bow. We don't move, Tex. We don't move.
Steady, Pat. Don't go to pieces. Well, Jerry?
That didn't do any good, did it? I give up.
There must be something to do. This can't be real.
Gee, that's funny. The storm stopped.
And the engines have stopped.
Everything has stopped. Why, there isn't a sound.
That fog is standing perfectly still and straight, like a gray cement wall. Only a little tiny piece of fog floating off into the still air. This is getting kind of spooky, isn't it?
There's something mighty wrong here. I don't like it.
But what can we do?
Yes, Skipper, what is it now?
Stopped.
What stopped?
Everything.
Generators? And everything in the engine room?
Everything.
I'll get on the radio and see what I can raise.
Stopped.
Well, we can run it from the batteries.
Dead.
Battery's dead, eh? And every instrument on board is stopped. You stay here and stand watch, Skipper. Hold the crew ready. I've got an idea. Come back in the chart room, Pat. You too, Jerry.
All right.
What are you thinking of, Captain Bradford?
Look at this chart.
Oh, our position doesn't mean anything if the instruments are out of order.
But the instruments were all right just as we hit this thing, whatever it is. We haven't moved since. There. Right there is our exact position. Look at it.
Oh, I see it now. Look, Jerry, we're there. This is the spot.
Then our position is right. The old sailor said, yeah, the ship won't move. That bank of fog. Sure it is. It must be. This is the Magic Island.
It all started in Los Angeles when Jerry Hall heard a radio broadcast over his shortwave set. The report said that an old sailor had been picked up from a small boat in the Pacific Ocean and had told a fantastic tale about a little white girl living on a mysterious island in the South Seas. How near the truth the old sailor was with his island of weird happenings, we shall soon know. Mrs. Patricia Gregory has come to the South Seas in her private yacht, hoping to find some evidence that there is such an island, and her little lost girl living on it. We find Mrs. Gregory, Captain Tex Bradford, and Jerry talking excitedly in the chart room of the yacht.
Now, take it easy, Jerry. There's no such thing as a magic island or a magic anything else that I ever heard of.
Then how do you explain the yacht being stuck for an hour, held right here by a bank of fog? We can't go forward or stern, and every instrument on board is dead.
Jerry's right, Tex. There's more to this than just a storm or a fog or well, there is.
All right, all right. Now, Patricia, you just hold everything while we look this over. I don't want you to get your hopes up too high about this thing.
But this mysterious fog bank is right on the spot where the old sailor said the island was.
That's the whole trouble, Jerry. All we've got to go on is what some old sailor said.
But the radio report said he'd been a junior officer and a navigator.
Sure. He'd know about the position being correct and all that.
If he was in his right mind, yes. Don't forget that he was an old man, sick and delirious, nearly dead from exposure and fatigue. When he was picked up out of the open sea, he had no map, not a scrap of paper to verify the position.
But it said he left a diary on the Magic Island and that he kept it carefully for every day he was there.
Then why did he leave this diary on the island?
Well, maybe he was a prisoner there and had to leave without taking anything that belonged to him.
Oh, stop romancing, Jerry. You're raising Mrs. Gregory's hopes too high. She's been disappointed so many times in all the years she's been trying to locate this girl.
I know that. But this is near the spot where you were shipwrecked 14 years ago, isn't it, Mrs. Gregory?
It couldn't have been very far from here. I remember our position so clearly.
Well, the old sailor said we'd find something mysterious when we got to this spot. Well, gosh, that fog bank is mysterious enough, so part of the story is true anyway.
And if that much is true, why can't it be possible that Joan, my little girl, is on the island?
We've got to find out right away.
All right, the yacht won't move and the fog won't move. If there was an island behind that fog, we couldn't get to it.
I know one thing we haven't tried.
Oh, then let's try it. Try anything, only do something.
Captain Bradford, you told me that ray generator thing of yours would penetrate fog, didn't you?
Why, of course, Tex. You've been waiting a year for an opportunity to try your fog-penetrating machine. We can look right through the fog with that, can't we?
Well, we could if we could use the machine.
Oh, golly whiskers, that's right. The machine won't work. No generators. Won't the batteries pull it?
They would, but they're dead, too.
But we just can't sit here and do nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat, but there doesn't seem to be anything else we can do until that fog lets go of us.
Now, look, fog can't hold a big boat. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, it adds up wrong for me, too, boy, but there it is. The bow of this boat is held tight against a bank of fog, just as solid as if we were anchored to a concrete wall. The engines won't push us through the fog, and they won't pull us off the fog. Every instrument on board is dead. Even the radio tubes are paralyzed.
Then there's only one answer. Electricity of some kind.
But where would the electricity be coming from?
No good, Jerry. We might be over a magnetic field of some kind that would throw the instruments out of order. I've seen that happen in a lot of places. But enough real electricity to hold a heavy boat powerless? No chance.
Oh, yes, Skipper?
Hurry.
What's up, Skipper?
Loose.
I think we are myself.
Drifting.
We're drifting, Skipper. The yacht's loose?
Yep.
Get the engineer quick. Full speed astern. Hold her there till we get away from that fog or whatever it is.
Aye.
Come on, folks. Let's go topside.
Oh, boy. This is sure swell.
It's certainly uncanny enough, Jerry.
Jerry, come here. We're backing away all right. There stands your fog bank.
Now, we can start your fog light gadget and try it out.
You think we can actually see through the fog with it, Tex?
I know we can. But wait till we're safely away from that gray wall.
Here comes the skipper on the run. I wish he'd get excited enough to say more than one word at a time.
Hush, Jerry. He'll hear you.
Generators.
How's that, Skipper?
Generators.
They working all right now?
Aye.
Then the other instruments ought to be all right, too. Let's check our position again.
Checked.
Good old Skipper. Where are we?
Here.
Oh, we know that, but where's here? Here, show us on the chart. The exact position is important, you know. Here, Jerry, help me hold this chart still.
There.
Look, Mrs. Gregory. We're right where the old sailor said we'd find the magic island.
Yeah, everything working now, Skipper?
Is the radio okay?
Aye.
Thanks, Skipper. Hold her steady now. Just keep the motors idling. If we drift away a little, let her drift.
Aye.
Can I try the radio now?
No, Jerry. Let's don't call anybody in yet.
No, Jerry. If we have found something unusual, let's work it out for ourselves.
Oh, heck. I'm sorry. But I just thought of starting the radio.
Well, let's try my fog ray first. I've got my doubts about that thing over there. You and Pat stay here and watch that fog to be sure it doesn't disappear on us. And wake us up out of all this nightmare. I'll get my machine.
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, this is wonderful, isn't it?
Just like a fairy story, Jerry. And I'm so happy. I can't explain why. There isn't any real reason for it yet, but my little Joan seems so close now. For 14 years, I've never lost hope that she might be alive and well somewhere. And now... Oh, Jerry, if it could only be.
I know how you feel, Mrs. Gregory. Kind of empty one minute and full up the next. Like an elevator running up and down in your windpipe.
I couldn't have put it just that well, but that's exactly the way I feel.
Come over here, kid, and give me a hand with this thing.
Coming up, sir. Boy, that's a heavy contraption.
Captain Bradford has been working on it for years, and he expects it to do anything with fog.
Yes, it does work in fog. You know it does, Pat. Didn't we use it off San Pedro and see right through the fog? When it was so thick the pelicans were using foghorns?
I don't remember the pelicans, Tex.
No, I'll show you in a minute. Here, loosen those wing nuts there, kid.
Aye, aye, sir. And don't you mind Mrs. Gregory, Tex. She's only kidding you because she's nervous, and she's just got to do something.
You're a sweet boy, Jerry. You do understand, don't you?
Well, I know how you feel. She's my girl, too, you know.
Will you two quit talking about something that hasn't happened yet and lend a hand here? We're about ready to try it out now. Our fog bank hasn't run away on us, has it?
Looks just like it did when we ran into it over an hour ago.
Run in the cabin, Jerry. Take this line and cut it into the power plug, will you?
You bet I will.
Oh, Tex, maybe there is an island behind that fog. The old sailor could have been right, you know. Hurry and try it.
The tubes are warming up now. It'll be ready in a second.
Is it all ready to go now, sir?
All set, Jerry, and you can be the very first to try it if you want to.
Oh, golly whiskers. Can I?
Hurry, Jerry.
Yes, ma'am. Well, what do I do?
Well, now look. Extend that telescope out as far as you can. That's right. Then get down behind it. Put your shoulder against the stock and sight it just as you would a rifle. And when the fog begins to open up for you, run the telescopic sight in and out till you get to focus. And you'll see the ocean on the other side of that fog.
Boy, this is sure exciting. There now. I've got my sights on the fog bank.
How's the visibility?
Can't see a thing but a gray wall.
Well, hold your sights there. I'll run this barometer for you. Hold it steady now. Tell me the minute the fog starts to break for you.
Oh, hurry, Tex, hurry.
How's that, Jerry?
No, not a thing yet.
I've run through the whole visible spectrum. Here, let me take the sights, Jerry. That'll be about it. There, now gently back, so, and...
Have you got it?
What do you see, Tex?
Well, I guess that's that.
Oh, Tex.
4 years' work. No use. I'm sorry, Pat.
Gee, Captain Bradford, I'm sorry, too.
Well, I've been disappointed before, son.
That was about our only hope, though.
There may be something wrong with your instruments in that gadget. Can you check them?
No use, Jerry. They check themselves. When you hear that high hum the oscillator gives off, everything's working. Every single unit in that layout is connected in series. And it either works or it doesn't.
But I can't understand it, Tex. The ray worked so perfectly off the coast of California. That fog looked just like this one. Why wouldn't it work here?
Hold everything, folks. I've got an idea.
Well, there's plenty of room for it here.
You remember when we all came up forward here? When the bow was stuck right into that fog bank and the motors wouldn't move the boat either way?
Yeah?
Yes, Jerry.
We all crowded right up on the forward end, right against the rail, didn't we?
Go on, son.
What are you getting at, Jerry?
That fog was right against us. It didn't seem to blow around us a bit. But you could hear the rush of the heavy wind.
I noticed that.
Well, I didn't at the time, but I remember it now. Go on, Jerry.
Well, that fog was right against us. You could feel it. We were there for minutes and minutes. But when we got away from there, after we had been standing in the edge of a fog, our clothes were perfectly dry.
Jerry. Why, he's right, Tex. Our clothes were dry, and we did stand right in the fog.
You've hit something there, kid.
Sure. And look, Captain Bradford's fog machine worked all right off the coast of California, you said.
Why, of course. It worked perfectly, yes.
That machine will cut a path through the heaviest fog I ever saw.
But it wouldn't go through this stuff. So there's only one answer. That fog out there is not fog.
But in the middle of the ocean, it's got to be fog. What you suggest is impossible, Jerry. Why, it's fantastic.
Look at Captain Bradford's face. He was laughing at my magic island a little while ago, but he's not laughing now, is he? I tell you, there's something mysterious here. And that fog is not fog.
Now, step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
Last night, as I was going up the stair, I met a little man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. My gosh, I wish he'd go away. I think it was Gillette Burgess who penned those immortal lines. How do you get rid of a little man who isn't there in the first place? Well, Peter Manson was a physicist, a scientist. And his trouble started with a little man who wasn't there. Submatrix X integrated to pi over 2 plus compound. May I come in, Mr. Manson? Why? Thank you. Are you alone? Yes. Well, then she hasn't arrived yet. I wasn't expecting anything. Oh, I am, but if she isn't here yet, I'll have some time to explain. Who is it? One thing at a time, sir. Now, first, have you ever considered the problem of time travel? Time travel? Why, that's impossible. Oh, now don't say impossible because you invented it. I've done nothing of the sort. History says you did. What history? History says that you invented time travel machinery and applied for a United States patent on June 16, 1964. What history? That's 6 years from now. But not from my point of view. You see, I've used one of your own time machines to come back from your future, 50 years through my past to this date, your present. Do you understand? You claim you have traveled 50 years through time? I am here. That's proof. I don't believe a word of it. Well, look them over. This is your own personal notebook, 50 years later than it is now. Actually, that's the same one that's on your desk right now. Now, this is a copy of your patent. Now, these documents say I'm right. I say so. You see, in my day, you are the wealthy and famous Peter Manson.
Well, do you want my autograph? You may be right, but I'm not wealthy yet.
Oh, I'm not after anything. I'm here to help you.
I don't need any help.
Do you know the first thing about your future?
Of course not.
Well, I do. I know just about everything that you're going to do in the next 50 years.
Prove it. What am I going to do next?
You are about to be introduced to the woman who will become your wife.
I already know her. We're engaged.
Oh, you mean Laura Phillips. Well, no doubt she's a nice enough girl, but she's not for you. You'll break that engagement shortly.
I'll do no such thing.
History says you did. Not will do. Did. But you...
Yes. Yes, Laura. No, Laura, not... But, Laura...
Tell her now and get it over with.
You shut up. No, Laura, I didn't mean you. No. No, Laura, she's not here. She hung up.
Oh, wouldn't listen to you, huh? And that's your fiancée.
She wouldn't do that.
Is this
Oh, Miss Carter. Now, we've been expecting you. Please come in.
all right, but just for a minute. No, Harry, you wait by the door, but stay close.
Now, Miss Amelia Carter, may I present...
Get that dame out of here.
Dame?
Please, now, this is hardly a way to start a lifetime.
Lifetime?
Yes, history says so. 50 years and still going when I left. Now, stop this hostility. You might as well save time, too. Now, start off with the first names. Amelia, this is Peter. Peter, be nice to Amelia. You really should be gracious, generous, anxious to create a good first impression.
Don't tell me how to behave.
Don't you blow a fuse, Grandpa.
Grandpa!
I am Peter Emil Manson III, your grandson. Note that the middle name is the masculine form of Amelia, your wife, my grandmother.
Grandmother?
Yes, indeed. Your son is my father.
But I'm not married yet.
Oh, but you will be. Now, Grandpa, you sit here.
Cut this grandpa stuff right now.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've been taught that it's impolite to call my grandparents by their given names. Of course, you don't look much like the old duffer that I know as Grandpa.
Oh,
now,
Grandpa,
calm down and you start making like romance. You know, you're not even engaged to Grandma yet.
Don't call me Grandma.
Oh, pardon me, it is impertinent, but you are quite a dish. Now that I've seen you in your youth, I can understand why Grandpa threw over this Laura Phillips girl. I can hardly believe that you'll become that sweet little old lady.
Mr. Manson, what's he talking about?
He's a time traveler from the future who says he can prove that we met, got married, and...
Now, don't go any further.
I'm afraid he's right. He says it's history, and we can't change history, can we?
But I hardly know you.
Well, if you'd known each other, I wouldn't have to introduce you, would I?
Maybe somebody'd better explain this to me.
Ah, fine. Now we're off to a start. Highball, Grandmother?
Yeah, I think I need one.
Now a little more romantic setting. Soft lights now. And now I'll leave you two to canoodle a bit. I've other things.
But Harry...
I'll take care of Harry. Guys, that'll be Laura. Run high. Do something. Relax with it, Laura. I'll take care of everything.
Of course, Peter Manson wasn't the only one having trouble with the little man who wasn't there. No, the future cannot be handled logically. It's logically impossible because it doesn't exist yet. And if it doesn't exist, then obviously it isn't logical. But it's going to exist, so... Well, you see what I mean. Logic is just hopeless. I should ought to clobber you.
Oh, now be reasonable, Harry. It wouldn't prove anything.
But Amelia's my girl.
Get over it, Harry. They're probably arranging their engagement right now.
You meddler.
I am not a meddler, Laura. I'm just an instrument of fate.
Fate. Poor Peter thrown to that blonde lion.
Oh, you stop calling my girl names, you hear?
You're acting like a pair of spoiled children. Now stop it. I regret that you've lost your loves, but really no one ever actually died of unrequited love.
Mine wasn't unrequited.
Well, it might as well be once they're happily married.
Happily married?
Well, you wouldn't want them unhappy, would you?
No, I'd like a little happiness myself.
Well, so would we all. But stop and think. Now, if the number of human lives depended upon your giving up a love affair, would you go on selfishly and marry the man anyway?
Well, that's hardly fair.
Well, then I'll put it up to Harry. Harry, if your own life depended upon preventing a wrong marriage, would you stand by and let them go ahead?
Make your own point. You're the meddler.
All right. My life depends upon it. My father's life depends upon it. Unless Peter Manson and Amelia Carter marry, neither my father nor I can be born. Now, knowing this, I used my grandfather's time machine, came back to give a formal introduction. Now, you can't blame me for wanting to live, so I came back and I fixed it up.
Yes, you're a great little fixer-upper.
Maybe we should ought to fix you up and then go on as we please about it.
You don't know much about time and history, do you?
No, but I could make up a...
You could not. You could not change a thing.
Why not?
If your father and mother had never met, could you have been born?
Oh, don't be utterly ridiculous.
Now, don't ever be scornful of stating a simple fact. I exist, therefore I am. Now, say it as you please. To you, Peter and Amelia will marry. To me, Peter and Amelia married 50 years ago. Now, the sensible thing to do is to accept the fact. Wipe it off the slate. Pick up the pieces and go on from there.
Such as?
Well, now, you're both very attractive people. You have a common bond of memory.
Hey, my type.
Well, I looked at better myself.
Oh, gad, this is a primitive era. Tell folks what's best for them, and they want to... What is the term, Harry?
Clobber you.
Yes, that's right. Clobber me.
That's the best idea I've heard all night.
No, not here. Outside, where I can stop being a lady. Then I'll help you.
Well, you can beat me up, but you can't change something that's already happened. Now, can you?
Look, I've taken all I can. I'm going home.
Can I?
That is a fine practical arrangement. Find sympathy in one another. It's the better thing to do. And maybe you'll find happiness with one another, too.
Can't we get out of this, Smith?
Well, if I cut my throat, I can't invent the time machine, and then he couldn't come back and mess up our lives by forcing me to marry you.
You'd rather commit suicide than marry me.
Oh, now, Amelia, stop it. That's not so.
Oh, so you'd rather marry me than commit suicide.
Oh, stop the bawling and let me think.
Peter, do you think he'd go away if we made it look like everything was running smooth?
What do you mean?
Well, suppose we stopped squabbling and complaining and made up to one another so he'd think we were happy and convinced that he's right. Maybe he'd be satisfied and go back where he came from. Then we could do as we please.
Won't work.
Why not?
That character is our grandson, Amelia. Already he knows what we're going to do.
Well, aren't you even willing to try?
I'll try, but it's futile. What did you have in mind?
Well, I just know he's coming back tonight. We could make it look as if we'd been getting acquainted.
Well, what have we been doing for the past couple of hours playing tiddly... Hey, let go, my God.
Oh, just looking up a little. If we were really getting acquainted, we'd not look as if we'd been sitting with folded hands. Hey, stop that.
Well, if you really loved me, you wouldn't mind my mussing up your hairdo then.
All right. There. Now we look like we've been wrestling. Where's my bag?
What for?
Lipstick. You should have a few smears.
Well, with you looking like a magazine cover, lipstick is a two-way smear, right?
Oh, yeah. I suppose so.
You sound as though Harry was the only man you ever kissed.
If we ever get around to it, Peter Manson, you'll be the only man that's ever been kissed just because history said he had to be. So there? If I got it.
All right. Once for history.
Let's see you now.
You need more of the spread.
You need a touch right there. Hold still a minute.
There's one thing history didn't mention.
What, Peter?
History didn't say this could be fun.
Peter, it'd be funny, wouldn't it?
What could be funny?
This trick worked.
And then?
You and me found out after he'd gone that we really did like it.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Peter?
Yes?
Open up the door.
Yeah, so let him wait. Now remember to look flustered.
And try to wipe your face, too.
Well, I see everything's progressing fine.
All right, now, go away.
Oh, I'm not going to stay. I just wanted to see how things were getting along. I know when I'm not wanted.
Then why did you come here in the first place?
Well, you think you hate me for my interference, but you wait and remember. In 50 years, the pair of you will be sending me off in my time machine to do this job of fixing up. And you, Grandma...
Stop calling me Grandma!
Still my Grandma, and you'll tell me that you and Grandpa actually wasted your first kisses trying to fool me into leaving. So now I'll trot along, but I'll be back tomorrow. And don't you keep her out too late, Grandpa.
What'd you do with Harry?
Oh, I fixed that up fine. Harry volunteered to escort Grandpa's former girlfriend to her home.
Harry and Laura?
Laura with Harry?
Peter?
Yes, Amelia.
To heck with history. Kiss me once. For me?
Oh, for goodness sake, it's 3 o'clock.
I know what time it is.
But
What I want to know is what you're doing.
I'm trying to think.
Yes, you look as if you've got it all settled.
Oh, what can I do?
You might wash that blonde hussy's magenta lipstick off your silly face.
Now, Laura, I can explain.
I'm listening. Convince me that you got all smeared up without enjoying it. Come on, convince me.
You went home with Harry to be trussed, didn't you?
Well, I didn't see anyone around making me another offer.
But I will.
I know. Working like a little beaver, making history come out right.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Bang my head against brick walls, tilt at windmills? Confound it, am I the only one around here with sense enough to know when I'm licked?
Well, you might not be so completely licked if Amelia Carter were as ugly as a mud fence.
Well, it does make my defeat less difficult to bear.
Well, make it complete, then. Have this expanded to fit her pudgy little hand.
My ring. But, Laura, what...
Goodbye, Peter.
Wait, don't go.
What's to stay for? To be a maid of honor?
If you came to quarrel with me, you yourself are doing everything to prove Junior's point. If he were here, he'd be cheering you into hating me and using my telephone for calling Harry to take you home.
Look, I didn't come here to fight with you, Peter. I came here to fight for you. But you're not fighting.
Junior knows all the moves. No matter what I try, everything turns out his way.
It's like your experimental smooching session.
Yeah, that too. He was amused.
I'm not. May have started as a deliberate frame-up, but it certainly ended up ginger peachy for his little old program.
I tell you, he knows every move. He came back here just to tell Amelia and me that you had gone home with Harry.
And 50 years from now, you and Amelia will dodder over to his time machine and kiss your brat of a grandson goodbye as he goes off to make the introduction. That's the program, isn't it?
And what can we do?
Peter, you say everything's fixed and solid. It can't be changed.
Well, that's the way it is.
But let's just suppose that you could quietly unfix Junior's little apple cart.
Well, then we'd go on as if he never arrived.
Well, couldn't you?
I can't prevent what's already happened. He exists. He is. He's here in the flesh.
No. I suppose you can't change that, can you?
No.
Well, then, goodbye, Peter.
Wait a minute, Laura. What if Junior were a different kind of guy?
What do you mean?
Look, Laura, he's the grandson of Amelia and me, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I don't marry Amelia, he doesn't get born. He can't exist unless we follow every move right down to the last letter of the historic record he talks about, right?
Yes, but...
Let's assume that the future is not a firm and solid hunk of recorded history.
Well, everyone but you and Junior have been saying that all along, but you keep pointing at Junior's history book and saying no.
But suppose that Junior's history book is only one of many possible histories.
Then how do you explain his solid existence?
Floating a brick on water is not impossible. It's just extremely unlikely.
Oh, stop sounding like a mathematics professor, Peter. Get to this important point.
Until Junior arrived with his books and his papers to show me, us, how we were going to act, he was rather unlikely as a future probability.
Mm-hmm.
But once he convinces us and introduces me to Amelia, Junior's existence becomes a very strong probability. In other words, he exists because he did the fixing that put history on the road that leads directly to him.
Well... you could rob a bank and get tossed in jail, and that would stop you from marrying anybody.
Well, we can't change things that drastically. But we might slip a little change in Junior's character.
How can we do that?
Suppose we could create another very strong future probability. Mightn't he come back and fight just as strong for his own existence?
But how can you do anything like that?
Laura, would you marry me right here and now?
Peter, at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Peter, it's Junior again. Don't go.
Oh, no.
Well, good morning. I'm in time, I see. You come in. I was hoping you would arrive. I'm the Reverend Peter Laurel Manson III. You'll notice that my middle name is the masculine form of the given name of my grandmother, Laura.
Peter, here is the other probability.
Precisely. Let's get along with it quickly before something else happens. Please, we must not be impatient. There must be witnesses. But I have prepared for everything. Everything. Will you permit me? Do come in. Oh, this is a most auspicious occasion.
Amelia!
And Harry, what are they doing here? People here appear to have forgotten that a man has 4 grandparents.
Well, I'm still a bit confused.
Oh, my dear, if I had not been prepared for this rare and happy occasion, I should be quite disturbed. It isn't often that a man has the opportunity of officiating at a double wedding ceremony uniting his grandparents. Can you make this stick? Yes. Now, unless I double-cross this double ceremony, Peter, take Laura's hand and stand away over here on my left. Now we all sort it out properly. Fine. History says that Peter and Laura will have a stalwart son. Hattie and Amelia will have a fine daughter.
son and daughter are my own parents.
Are you sure?
I arrived a bit late, my dear, because I have been quite a busy man. I made a stopover on my trip through time, pausing long enough to unite in marriage your son with their daughter. It was a lovely wedding. Time goes by. Woman needs man, man must have his mate. If that doesn't mean you got to be stuck with any particular mate. There's freedom of choice there. See, the only way you can get rid of the little man who isn't there is to have a different little man not there. That takes care of it.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Guys, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who has come to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who wages a never-ending fight for truth and justice disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. With Lois Lane, star girl reporter, missing, and the Yellow Mask threatening a dire catastrophe unless a $15 million hoard of stolen jewels is delivered to a deserted crossroads by dawn, Kent sets a trap. As our story continues today, Kent, Police Commissioner Malone, and Jimmy Olsen are waiting in the woods at the crossroads where Kent has planted a suitcase containing stones instead of the real jewels. Meanwhile, in a hideout a mile from the crossroads, the Yellow Mask is giving final instructions to his henchman, Lefty. Listen.
Message that we got over the air said that the suitcase would be at the crossroads within a half hour. You understand what you ought to do, Lefty?
Yeah. I park the car in a cutout, hike through the woods, and come up behind the road.
That's right. But be careful. This may be another trap. You're taking Joe with you?
Yeah, and a couple of gats.
Well, you may need them.
Hey, where's that reporter dame?
In the next room, resting.
You know, I don't like getting mixed up with dames in this racket. They're poison. When are you getting rid of her?
That, Lefty, is my business.
All right. I was just asking.
You and Joe had better get going, and don't make any mistakes this time.
Well, I didn't make no mistake last time.
Well, we won't go into that now. Wait a minute. Something just occurred to me. In order to be on the safe side, I think that you had better...
What?
She may be awake in the next room. I don't want her to hear me. I'll go out to the car with you. Now, as I was saying, Lefty, in order to be on the safe side, what I think that you had better do is this.
As Lefty and Joe leave the hideout with final whispered instructions from the Yellow Mask, Clark Kent as Superman waits alone in the darkness of the crossroads. The quiet of the night, broken only by the chirping of crickets and the eerie hum of insects. Listen.
Oh, looks like my little scheme failed. Not a sign of anyone. What's that? Oh, just a hoot owl. Dawn will be up soon. Wait. Someone's coming through the woods. Maybe an animal. No, it's a man. 2 men. Our plan has worked.
There it is, Joe. On that stump. Grab it.
Okay, Lefty, I got it. Put that suitcase down. Huh?
Who's there?
You heard what I said. Put down that suitcase.
Let him have it, Joe.
Okay, Lefty. Okay. So you want to play, huh? Well, see how you like this little game.
Those thugs didn't hold him at all. Beat it, Joe. Now, beat it.
No, you don't. Oh, that's only a sample. Now, see how you like this.
Oh, hey, I'm getting out of here. Mr. Kent.
I heard those shots. I can't let them see me as Superman.
Kent.
Where are you?
Out here. Oh, one of them got away. I tried to catch him.
You must have shot this one plenty hard. He's out cold.
What happened, Kent? We heard 2 shots.
Yes, but fortunately their marksmanship was dead. Both bullets missed me. I closed in on them and got one, but... Oh, boy, in the scuffle, the other one ran off through the woods.
Well, you took a terrible chance, Kent. Battling armed desperados.
Well, maybe not as much of a chance as you think. Here, wait, let's have a look at this fellow. I'll turn him over here. Well, you know who he is, Commissioner?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Gee, sure looks mean.
Well, one thing is certain. He's part of the Mask's gang, and he probably knows where the hideout is. I suggest we take him to the police station back in the next town and pump him. What do you think, Commissioner?
We might learn something if we can get him to talk.
Oh, he'll talk, all right. His kind usually do when they're in a tough spot.
I'll go back for the car.
Okay.
Mr. Kent.
Yes, Jimmy?
Did you really knock this guy out?
Why, yes. Don't you believe me?
Sure, I believe you all right, but, well, I was just wondering.
Wondering, Jimmy? Wondering about what?
Well, maybe I was seeing things.
Well, I don't understand, Jimmy.
Oh, forget it.
No. Tell me what's on your mind.
Well, I saw those two men come out of the woods.
Yes?
Then I heard the shots, and a second after that, another man jumped across the road.
Oh, sure. That was I, Jimmy.
It didn't look like you. I thought it was Superman.
You thought it...
What's the matter?
Well, thanks, Jimmy. After all, it isn't everyone who's mistaken for Superman.
You're just making fun of me.
No, not at all. Here's the car.
Yeah.
Okay, Commissioner. Come on over here and grab his feet, will you?
All right.
We'll dump him in the back.
Say, Mr. Kent, the suitcase is still here. They didn't get it.
Bring it along, Jimmy.
Okay.
Careful, Commissioner. There. That does it. All right, hop in, Jimmy.
Right. Hey, do you think he'll tell us where the mask is hiding out, Mr. Kent?
He's got to tell us, Jimmy. It's our only chance. Open up. Me, Lefty, open up. All right, close it.
What happened?
Let me catch my breath. I had to run all the way.
Where are the jewels?
I couldn't get them.
What do you mean?
Now, take it easy, Chief.
Oh, don't tell me to take it easy. What happened, you fool?
Give me a chance, will you?
Did you follow my instructions?
Yeah, sure. Me and Joe parked the car on a side road and then hiked through the woods.
Was the suitcase there?
Yeah, it was there. Looked like a pipe, Chief. We jumped out of the woods and Joe grabbed it. And we were starting back for the car when it happened.
What happened?
A big guy hopped out of the bushes across the road. He was wearing some kind of a uniform. I yelled at Joe to let him have it, and he did. Twice. But I swear, as sure as I'm standing here, them slugs bounced off the big guy's chest.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Now, Chief, I seen it with my own eyes. Well, anyway, the big guy closed in and started throwing punches. I figured we didn't have no chance against him, so I beat it fast.
What happened to Joe?
He caught one on the button and went down.
So you left him there to answer all their questions.
Oh, Joe won't talk.
He'll talk when they stop working on him. I knew that I shouldn't have trusted this job to you.
It wasn't my fault, Chief.
Shut up. Now that you've bungled it, I've got to figure a way out. You said that the jewels were there.
Yeah, in a suitcase, sitting on a stump.
How do you know what was in the suitcase?
Well, I didn't open it, but it was heavy. Listen, Chief, if you think they'll make Joe talk, we better scram out of here.
Oh, no, you'll stay right here and wait for them.
Yeah, but, Chief, that big guy...
You turning yellow, Lefty?
Oh, me? Say, I ain't afraid of...
Good. Then you'll help me welcome them. You see, Lefty, this house was built for visitors such as we expect. Now stand back against the wall. Now I slide this picture away and press this little button. So.
Holy gee, a trapdoor.
Look down the hole. What do you see?
Looks like a swimming pool without any water.
A very apt description, Lefty. It's a concrete tank 2 feet thick on all sides and rising 8 feet from the basement floor.
Yeah? What's it good for?
You shall see. The trap door will be all set when our friend Mr. Kent and his companions arrive. The moment they step on it, they will fall into the concrete tank. Then I throw a switch from the 2nd floor, and iron bars will slide over the top of the tank. Can you picture it?
Yeah. That's so they can't climb out.
Precisely.
That's just like being in jail, huh?
Yes, Lefty. A jail from which there is no escape.
You mean you leave them down there without giving them nothing to eat and no water?
That's the idea.
Hey, I don't like that kind of business, Chief.
Whether you like it or not, you're a part of it. Now, come on. We've got to get everything ready. If they're coming at all, they will be here soon.
I hope we're not too late, Commissioner. It's getting light in the east.
It took quite some time worming the information out of that gorilla. Was he stubborn?
Yeah. You all right, Jimmy?
Oh, you bet, Mr. Kent.
Now, hold on. This is where we turn.
Great Scott, what a road. We never would have found this place without directions. What a road.
That must be the house up ahead. Well, I'll stop here.
All right, now be quiet. Follow me.
This place looks deserted, Kent.
There's not a light burning.
Quiet. He may be asleep.
Look, Kent.
What?
Smoke coming out of the chimney. There's someone here.
Good. Now you and Jimmy take the front door while I go round to the rear. Now be careful.
We will.
Yell if you need help.
All set, Jimmy?
Sure. I'm all ready.
You stay behind me. I've got a gun. Let's try the door.
Is it locked?
No. Jimmy, I'm going to open it.
Slowly the door swings open on rusty hinges. Jimmy and Commissioner Malone stare into the darkness of the room, little suspecting that one more step will send them hurtling down through a trapdoor into a concrete tank. What will happen? Don't forget to tune in next time and follow the thrilling story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, amazing visitor from the planet Krypton, who has come to Earth possessed of physical powers far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, and who wages a never-ending battle against crime and oppression disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. By capturing one of the Yellow Mask's henchmen, Kent, as Superman, learned where the Mask's hideout is located, and where Lois Lane, girl reporter, is probably being held. As our story continues today, Kent, Police Commissioner Malone, and young Jimmy Olsen, copy boy on Kent's paper, have approached the hideout just as dawn is breaking. Kent has circled to the rear of the house, while Jimmy and the Commissioner prepare to enter through the front, little suspecting that a trapdoor is hidden under the rug just over the threshold. A trapdoor that leads into a concrete tank. Listen.
I don't understand how the mask happened to leave this door open. Either we're lucky or we're walking into something.
Maybe we better wait for Mr. Kent before going in.
I don't think that's necessary. Stick close, but stay behind me.
All right.
I may have to use this gun. In case I do, drop flat on your stomach.
Okay.
All right. Let's go. Wait a minute.
Huh?
Wait a minute.
Mr. Kent getting us through the back way.
Kent.
Can't hear you.
That door must lead to the rear of the house. Come on, Jimmy.
Okay.
Jimmy, where are you?
I'm right here. What happened?
We stepped on a trap door and fell through.
Yeah, but where are we? Oh, I can't tell. It's pitch black.
Here's some matches. Light one of them.
All right. Here.
It's a concrete tank. Built right up under the trap door.
Yeah, but it's open at the top. Hey, look. Closed now. With iron bars.
This was all planned, Jimmy. And we walked into it.
Were you hurt, Commissioner?
Oh, my ankle. I think it's broken. Strike another match.
Okay.
Oh,
Which ankle?
the right one. Yeah, it's either broken or badly strained.
Oh.
It's beginning to swell.
How are we going to get out of here?
I don't know, Jimmy. Unless Kent can help us. He must have heard that trap door fall. Try calling him.
All right. Mr. Kent! Mr. Kent!
Where are you, Jimmy?
He hears me.
Yes,
But he had better not hear you again.
Huh?
Keep quiet.
Where's that voice coming from?
I don't know, but it sounds like the yellow mask.
Shout, Jimmy. Shout for Kent.
Mr. Kent! We're under the trap door down in the cellar.
I warn you, one more word and you'll never speak again.
Stop, Jimmy.
Jimmy, where are you? Don't answer him.
We won't.
But how can we let Mr. Kent know where we are?
That man is a maniac, Jimmy. He may murder us in this dungeon.
Jimmy, answer me. Where are you?
Don't, Jimmy.
But
Don't. You'll only lead Kent to the trapdoor. And then we'll all be down here. Our only hope is for Kent to be free so he can lay his hands on the yellow mask. And I'm afraid there's not much chance of that. Not much chance.
Jimmy! Commissioner Malone, where are you? I'm sure that was Jimmy's voice I heard. Seemed to be muffled. Maybe he's upstairs. Jimmy!
Welcome to my abode, Mr. Kent.
The mask.
Yes. I believe that we have met before under different circumstances.
Where's Miss Lane?
Miss Lane is well and safe. So are the police commissioner and your young friend Jimmy. But they will remain safe only as long as you obey my orders. One false move on your part will seal their doom.
Where are they?
Never mind that now. More importantly, where are the jewels?
I've put up with enough of your madness. Tell me where those people are hidden, or I'll...
Stand back, Kent. You see, I am unarmed, but others are watching you. Stand back unless you want to murder your friends.
You can't bluff me.
This isn't a bluff, Kent. Lay one finger on me and you will suffer. You think that I'm fool enough to face you this way without protection? And my protection is the lives of your friends.
All right. What do you want?
Ah, that's better. You know what I want. The jewels that I worked so hard to get. The jewels that you and that Lorimer girl took from me. Where are they?
I have them. But this time I want more than your word, which I've found to be worthless. Release Miss Lane, Commissioner Malone, and Jimmy Olsen, and you'll get the jewels.
What do you take me for? A mindless idiot? First, I must have the jewels. Then I must be guaranteed an opportunity to leave unmolested. However, in order to prove my sincerity, I will let you see Miss Lane. The others must remain where they are until I have left with the jewels. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Yes, you do. But I know how far I can trust you.
In this case, Mr. Kent, you will have to trust me. Make up your mind.
All right. But if this turns out to be another of your little tricks, you'll suffer for it.
Oh, you do me a great injustice, Mr. Kent. Now, this way. Miss Lane is resting in a room at the rear of the house. Please remember what I so carefully pointed out to you only a moment ago. One false move on your part, and you sign the death warrants of the worthy police commissioner and young Olsen. I am playing for big stakes, as you well know. I cannot afford to lose.
Here we are. I will unlock the door for you. Lane, you have a visitor. Florence.
Cortez.
I will leave you two for a few minutes. Remember, Kent, life hangs in the balance. Lefty.
Yeah?
Listen closely. Make no mistakes. I think I have Kent where I want him.
Who is Kent?
The newspaper reporter responsible for my having lost the jewels. What difference does it make? You're being paid to take orders, not ask questions.
All right, okay.
Now, pay close attention. I think that I can get the jewels if I promise to release Miss Lane, the police commissioner, and the boy.
You're gonna let him go?
Don't be a fool. The testimony of any one of them would send me to the chair. They must never leave this house alive.
Well, how you gonna work it?
Very simply. When Kent returns with the jewels, I will somehow manage to maneuver him and Miss Lane to the trap door in the front room. Once I have all four of them down in the concrete tank, the rest will be easy.
Well, I told you that business don't sit right with me, Chief.
Well, isn't that too bad? You'll have to get over your squeamishness, Lefty. Now, don't forget, you're mixed up in this just as much as I am. Death in the electric chair isn't very pleasant.
You ain't got blood in your veins. You got ice water.
Well, maybe you're right. Now, listen to me. As I said, I'll get Kent and the lame girl to the trapdoor. Just before I do, throw the switch controlling the iron bars so the tank will be open, ready to receive two more visitors.
Yeah? Then what?
Once the trapdoor is sprung, throw the second switch. That will slide the bars back over the top of the tank. Then get to the field behind the house as fast as you can. I will have my plane ready for a quick getaway.
Oh, well, what's the big rush?
The further away I am from the scene of the crime, the better I like it. Now, is it all straight in your mind?
Yeah, I guess so. First, I throw switch number 1. That slides the iron bars back. Then I throw switch number 2. That shoves the bars back over the tank.
Correct. Keep your wits about you. If we fail this time, we're through. If we succeed, there are millions in it. Stick close to those switches. Are you ready, Mr. Kent?
Miss Lane has been telling me how courteous you were to her.
He's a fiend, a madman.
Oh, I'm quite certain that Miss Lane is exaggerating. However, one thing has nothing to do with another. You see, she has not been harmed. It is as much as you can expect under the circumstances. Now, about the jewels.
They're in the car, parked on the road leading to this house.
I don't believe you.
You can see for yourself. We brought them along just in case we ran into anything like this.
Lying won't do you any good, Kent.
I'm not lying.
All right, we shall see. You and Miss Lane will accompany me to the car. This way, please. Follow me.
Are the jewels really in the car?
No, but I want to get him alone.
Hurry, Kent. I have no time to waste.
We're coming.
One moment while I turn on the light. This front room seems a little dark. There we are. Miss Lane, Mr. Kent, you may precede me out the door.
Come on, Lois.
Over!
Throw the switch, Lefty.
Right, Chief.
Very nice. Very nice.
Trapped in the concrete tank, Lois, Commissioner Malone, and Jimmy are in grave danger unless Superman can get them out. But does Clark Kent dare reveal himself as Superman? What will he do? Don't forget to tune in next time and follow the thrill-packed story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invite you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. In a small concrete structure carefully isolated from the other buildings on the campus of Space Academy, the Polaris unit attends its daily lecture, Astrophysics. Wearing protective coveralls and gloves, the three cadets stand attentively around a large laboratory table as young, attractive Dr. Joan Dale, one of the leading Academy physicists, indicates a sample specimen of ore in a small lead-lined case.
This ore, cadets, is extremely rare. It's only found in any appreciable quantity on 2 asteroids in the asteroid belt. 2046 and 2049. This sample came from our mining camp on 2049.
Is this ore good for anything, Dr. Dale?
Well, we're not sure yet, Cadet Corbett. It's still in its testing stage. So far, we found it has a small degree of radioactivity.
Hey, then maybe it could be used as a fuel for rocket ships.
Perhaps, but certainly not in its present state, Cadet Astro. It would take several tons of ore to reach a critical mass strong enough to produce power and usable energy. Now, any more questions? All right, then, we'll proceed with your test assignment. You understand what you're to do?
Yes, ma'am. Analyze this specimen, giving content and volume of every element included.
And measure the energy potential.
Right. Use reaction chamber 2. Number 1 hasn't been cleaned since the last experiment.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll have 15 minutes, cadets. Work fast, but be as thorough as you can. Oh, be sure to keep your gloves on when you handle the ore sample, and don't forget to use the Geiger counter. I'll be back in exactly 15 minutes.
Oh, brother, this is what I call a real dog detail. Playing around with a crummy hunk of rock.
We'll get a real dog rating if we don't finish this experiment in time, Roger.
Yeah, hotshot. Get that reaction chamber heated up.
Okay.
Astro, you take this piece of ore and start analyzing it. Roger and I'll handle the reaction chamber.
Check.
Okay, Tom. Chamber's ready.
Now, hand me a container.
Here. Okay, open the lock.
Shove it in. Closer. Oh, and don't forget the Geiger counter.
Sure. What do you think I am, a primary student?
If you study hard enough, you might make it, Roger.
That's enough out of you, Rockethead. Okay, counter's on.
How you doing, Astro?
This won't take long, Tom. We ought to finish the experiment in plenty of time.
Yeah, if you don't mess it up.
Me? Why, you overblown bag of space.
Hey, wait a minute, fellas. The Geiger counter. Listen to it.
Hey, jumping Jupiter, it's going crazy.
I don't get it. Dr. Dale said it would take tons of the stuff to reach critical mass. That hunk we put in the reaction chamber is no bigger than my fist.
Hey, wait a minute. You put it in chamber 1.
Well, sure.
You big jerk. Dr. Dale said to use chamber 2. Number 1 wasn't cleaned out.
So the ore is combining with whatever was left in there.
Well, quick, we've got to stop it.
Too late. Don't go near it, Tom. There's a baby A-bomb cooking up in there.
Well, let's get out of here.
Come on, Tom. She'll blow any second.
Hit that outer door. Quick, Astro.
Right.
Go on, fellas. Outside. Now hit the deck fast. She's going to blow.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Spaceman, one of the most interesting places here at Space Academy is the Spaceport Communication Center. Now, today we're going in there for a look around and see just how they operate. Here we are, Spaceman. You know, this communication center is in operation 24 hours a day, keeping a check on all space traffic and land-to-space communication. Now, come into this room. Okay? Well, now, here's the telerecorder. Dr. Dale recorded a message to be sent to all boys and girls in all planet colonies. I'll play it for you.
Here's an important reminder to all spacemen and space girls, too. Be sure you're getting enough vitamins. Eat the right foods that give you those vitamins. At breakfast, you can get the whole day supply of vitamin D and a valuable amount of vitamin B1 by eating Kellogg's Pep. And when you eat Pep, you're giving yourself the kind of food values that help you do things better. That goes for play, school, work, and sports. So remember, for a good supply of important vitamins and a really enjoyable way to start this day, help yourself to Kellogg's Pep. End transmission.
Well, spacemen, you learned two important things today. You learned about communications, and you heard about the best breakfast cereal in the universe. So don't forget now, ask Mom for Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Conducting a routine experiment in the physics laboratory, Roger makes a careless mistake and an explosion results. A blast that wrecks the interior of the lab. But the cadets manage to escape unhurt. Now, an hour later, we find them being interrogated by Dr. Dale in her office.
Well, Cadet, you certainly succeeded in making a complicated mess out of a simple experiment.
Oh, we're awfully sorry, ma'am. Knock it off, Tom. This is my party. Huh? It's my fault, Dr. Dale. I put the ore sample in the wrong reaction chamber.
Oh, you did it. I might have known. Well, Cadet Manning, I don't know whether to log you for it or recommend you for a medal.
Huh?
Your mistake has opened the way for entirely new experiments in freeing the energy potential of the ore. It was a combination of that sample with the residue of a previous experiment that produced the reaction.
Then you think the ore can be used as a fuel?
If we can find the right combination of materials to go with it. Cadet Manning, you're detached from duty with the Polaris unit.
But, Dr.
I'm going to Asteroid 2049 to conduct further experiments with this ore, and I'll need an astrogator and an assistant. You can consider this assignment your reward for your mistake or your punishment.
Oh, brother, this is a reward.
Well, I hope you'll think so after we're finished. Be ready to blast off in Rocket Scout 9J in 1 hour.
By the rings of Saturn. I never thought I'd say this, Tom, but I'm beginning to miss Roger.
Well, strangely enough, I feel the same way, Astro.
Funny. And I thought a few days without him would be a real vacation. I wonder when he'll be back.
I wonder if we'll be here when he gets back. Captain Strong sounded kind of excited when he called us.
You think he's got a special assignment for us?
We'll find out in a minute. Here's his office. Cadets Corbett and Astro reporting, sir.
Well, stand easy, cadets. Be with you in a second. All right, Courtney. Now, give me the rest of those figures on the course of the 9J. Uh-huh.
9J? Tom, wasn't that the rocket scout Dr. Dale used to go to Asteroid 2049?
Yes. I wonder what's up.
Great galaxy. I hope nothing's wrong.
All right. Got it, Courtney. But if there's any further word from Mason on the asteroid, let me know.
Captain Strong, is there anything wrong? I mean, well, we couldn't help overhearing you mention the 9J. And we know Roger and Dr. Dale used that ship.
I'm sorry to have to break it to you like this, boys, but the 9J is missing.
Missing? But how could...
We don't know yet. We've tracked the scout as far as the asteroid belt, right to number 2049, as a matter of fact. But Greg Mason, the chief engineer of the mining station there, said they never arrived.
Did any of our space stations pick up a distress call?
No, nothing but routine position reports. Apparently everything was going smoothly until the scout entered the asteroid belt.
Then what happened to them?
That's what we're going to find out. Prepare the Polaris for immediate blastoff. We're going to search for the 9J, and we're starting at asteroid 2049. All right, Astro. Stand by for landing.
We get a good view of the asteroid from up here, Captain Strong.
And we'll set the ship down close to the mining camp, Tom.
I've got the spot all picked out, sir.
The control deck to power deck. Braking rocket, 1/4.
Aye, sir. Braking rockets, 1/4.
The gravitational pull of this asteroid is only 0.006. Now, we can touch down without any further braking.
Altitude 1,000 feet, sir.
Stand by for touchdown.
Aye, sir.
Power deck. Cut rocket.
Here we go, sir. Touchdown.
We're All right, boys. Pick your ship. First, we'll have a talk with Mason, and then start tracking the 9J.
Captain Strong, do you mean to tell me the 9J is still unreported?
We haven't heard a word from them, Mason. We checked Dr. Dale's course, and it appears she came straight here.
I don't understand it. We've seen no sign of her or the ship.
Are you sure your radar is in good working order?
Of course. We picked up your ship an hour ago. I'm positive the rocket scout couldn't have come within 1,000 miles of us. Have you tried to raise them on your teleceiver?
Oh, at least 100 times.
Well, I'm afraid it's only too obvious what's happened, Captain Strong.
You mean you think the scout was hit by a meteorite?
Well, this part of space is full of them. One slight defect in the ship's radar gear or a miscalculation by the astrogator and, well, there wouldn't be much left.
Maybe you're right, Mason. But we won't assume anything until we're sure.
But what can you do, Strong?
Search this entire area.
But that would be like looking for a speck of meteor dust in the Milky Way. It would take weeks, months.
I don't care how long it takes. We're going to keep at it until we find some sign of that ship. Anything on the radar screen yet, Tom?
I'm afraid not, Captain Strong. Not since we made contact with that swarm of meteorites.
Oh, it's beginning to look hopeless, Tom. We've covered an immense area. If the rocket scout hit anything while they were on course, we'd have found at least a trace of wreckage by this time.
Wait, sir. I'm picking up something on the radar again.
Probably some more meteorites.
No! We're getting a fix on a sizable mass. This could be it, sir.
Well, how big is the mass?
Checking now, sir. About the size of our rocket scout. We found her. And look at my screen. The signal is getting in clearer now.
I'll plot an orbit to intercept her. We should be able to overhaul her within an hour.
I'll try to raise them on the audio, sir.
Right. Hello, radar bridge to power deck. Check in.
Power deck, aye.
We're changing course, Astro. I want you to stand by for maximum velocity.
Right, sir. I'll give you all the speed you want. Have you found something?
I hope so. At least it checks for mass with the scouts. So get to work now. Hit those rockets.
Radar bridge to control deck. We're closing in on the scout, Captain Strong, almost within visual range.
Good. Cut off the radar and turn on the forward scanner. Take a speed on here.
Aye, aye, sir. There she is, sir. It's the 9J, all right.
No sign of damage to the ship.
No, sir. She seems to be holding course under full control.
Try audio contact now.
Aye, sir. Polaris calling Rocket Scout 9J. Polaris calling Rocket Scout 9J. Acknowledge. Can you read us? Acknowledge, 9J. This is the Polaris. Blast it. Hello, Captain Strong. Still no answer.
All right. Secure the radar bridge and report to the main airlock in full space gear. I want you and Astro to board that ship fast.
Okay, Tom. We're aboard the Rocket Scout. What now? Well, first let's take these helmets off. Air pressure and oxygen level in here is okay. I just checked. Right. That's better. Tom, this ship is quiet as a grave. What could be wrong?
Hello, Tom. Check in.
Hold it, Astro. Skipper's calling us on our communicators. Go ahead, Captain Strong.
How are you doing?
Well, just got aboard, sir.
Any sign of Dr. Dale or Roger?
Not yet, sir. Astro and I are just starting to look around.
Right. Check the radar bridge first and keep your communicators open. Maintain contact with me.
Right, sir. Okay, Astro, let's go. Jumping Jupiter. There's something about this ship that makes my flesh crawl. So it, Astro. Get up that ladder. There's nobody up here on the radar bridge, Tom. Okay, come on down. We'll check the controls. Everything's in order. Set on automatic course. Hey, this is strange. Find something, Tom? No, nothing. That's just it. The logbook is supposed to be in this desk drawer, and it isn't here. Maybe they abandoned ship and took the log with them. Well, come on. Let's have a look in the spacesuit locker. Oh, there it is, over there. Well, go on. Open it up. Hey, look, Tom. Why, their spacesuits are still in the locker. This is Dr. Dale's, and here's Roger. Here's the emergency suit.
Boys, did I hear you right? They couldn't abandon ship without their spacesuits.
I know it, Captain Strong. That's just what we're trying to figure out.
Well, go on with the search. Take your time. Do a thorough job. Joan and Roger must still be aboard.
We'll try below, sir. We may find something on the power deck.
Go ahead down, Tom.
Oh, there's certainly no sign of a fight anywhere. Everything is in shipshape order.
Yeah, that's what makes it so creepy.
Hey, there's the weapons locker, Astro. Let's check that.
Good idea.
Well, I give up. There's not a thing missing.
Well, that means the ship couldn't have been attacked.
If it was, Roger certainly would have reached the weapons, at least.
Well, I'll take a look at the power unit, Tom.
All right.
Hello, Tom. Can't you find anything at all to indicate what happened?
Well, no, Captain Strong. The ship's in perfect running order, holding a preset orbit. Everything's routine, except for the fact that Roger and Dr. Dale are missing. Just a minute, sir. I think Astro's found something.
The reactor pile. Somebody's removed the damping rods.
What?
It's too late to replace them. The rocket head temperatures are way over the danger mark. This ship is going to explode.
Are you sure, Astro?
Suffering Martian mice. Of course I'm sure. We've got to get off this death heap fast.
Well, come on, then.
Step on it, boys. Use the emergency airlock.
That's where we're headed, sir.
Here we are.
Okay, Astro, now. Put your helmet on and get that outer door open quick. I'll equalize pressure.
Never mind the pressure. There's only a 14-pound difference. We can stand that. Help me pull the door open.
I'll try it. Come on up. Put your helmet on.
Okay.
Hey, this isn't going to be easy. Shouldn't be that hard. Let me get at it. Well, come on. Hey, there's something wrong here.
I'll say the door's jammed.
It can't be full.
Oh, Houston won't budge. We're trapped in here, Astro.
Astro, try the emergency release.
I'm trying it, sir, but it's no good.
Captain Strong, cast off with the Polaris, sir. Hurry.
Oh, I'll try to reach you from the outside.
No use, sir. It's the inside lock that's jammed. Please, sir, get the Polaris out of here. This ship is doomed. In a minute, we'll be blown to space dust.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Say, Spaceman, have you got your share of Magic Eyes yet? Well, if you haven't, you'd better get going. Your Magic Eye is waiting for you right this minute down at the grocery store, inside every package of Kellogg's Pep. Now, on those Magic Eyes, you can see Bill Holden and Bob Hope of Paramount Pictures, sports stars like Bobby Riggs, and circus greats like Clyde Beatty, the Lion Tamer. And listen, every Magic Eye picture shows you plenty of action. 16 different action subjects. Collect them all. You know, it's easy to get Magic Eyes. Nothing to mail in and no waiting, because you get a Magic Eye free at no extra cost in every package of Kellogg's Pep. Now, think of it. Just get a package of Kellogg's Pep and you get a Magic Eye at the same time. Be the first in your neighborhood to collect all 16 Magic Eyes. If you get 2 of a kind, trade for one you haven't got. But just remember, you keep adding to your collection every time you get Kellogg's Pep. You get loads of swell eating, too, because those golden whole wheat flakes make the best tasting cereal you ever had. Just remember now, ask Mom to buy Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
When the crew of the Polaris locates the rocket scout 9J, in which Dr. Dale and Roger Manning have been missing in space, they find it completely deserted. During their search, Tom and Astro discover the damping rods missing from the atomic reactor motors and realize the ship will explode any minute. In a desperate race against death, they try to reach the safety of the Polaris, but they are trapped in the airlock of the rocket scout by a jammed door. On the Polaris, Captain Strong hears Tom's report.
Nothing you can do to help us. We'll keep trying to find a way out of here ourselves. Tom's right, Captain Strong. You can't risk the Polaris.
All right, men. Listen. I'll move the ship off about 1,000 yards. That should be far enough to escape the blast. When you can get out, push yourselves off into space, and I'll pick you up. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, but so far we're not having any luck forcing this door.
What about the emergency toolkit?
Why, that would be in one of the desk lockers, I suppose. But we never have time to get back.
Tom, listen. That model ship has a small tool compartment in the inside bulkhead of the airlock, and there's sure to be a cutting torch in the kit.
Hear that, Astro? Yes, I'll look for it.
If the torch is there, you should be able to cut around that catch lock in a matter of seconds.
Skipper was right, Tom. Here's the torch. Fire it up. Quick, here we go. Stand away from that lock, Tom.
Work fast, Astro.
He's doing fine, Captain. Hey, Tom, the catch is beginning to give. A little more to the left now. Oh, that did it. Pull the door open now. Hey, Captain Strong, did you hear that? We're shoving off into space. Stand by to pick us up.
Get moving. I'm ready.
All right, Astro. The door's open. Now shove off into space as hard as you can push. Here goes! Hammer at your heels!
Tom.
Oh, Captain Strong, what happened? Explosion.
You're all right, Tom. So is Astro. You cleared the ship just as she exploded. The blast hurled you both out into space like a couple of rockets. I had to use radar to find you.
Well, the force of the blast must have knocked us out. Gosh, I'm still a little dizzy.
You'll be all right now, Tom. How are you making out, Astro?
Fine, sir. I must have been a little farther from the ship when she blew.
Well, thank the universe you were both far enough.
But, sir, we're no closer to a solution to this mystery than we were before.
You're sure there wasn't a single clue on that ship to indicate what could have happened to Joan and Roger?
No, sir. Nothing at all. You should have seen it. Captain Strong, it was weird.
Enough to give you the creeps, sir. A completely deserted ship and yet no signs of a fight or anything.
Well, they couldn't have gotten off alive without their spacesuits.
Hey, did you leave the radio open, sir? That sounds like some kind of static or interference.
That's funny. There shouldn't be any static in this area.
Well, I'll check it, sir. Hello? Hello, this is the Polaris. Hello. Come in, please.
Polaris?
Listen.
That sounds like Joan.
Dr. Dale, is that you? This is Tom Corbett on the Polaris.
Tom, can you read me?
Well, just barely. Can't you step up power?
No, listen carefully.
Joan, this is Steve. Are you all right?
So far, but listen.
Go ahead, Dr. Dale.
Roger and I are on Asteroid 2049. Can you hear that?
Yes, on 2049. Go ahead.
We're in danger, great danger. Get here as quickly as you can.
Hey, she stopped transmitting. Yeah, but did you hear what she said, sir?
I heard it. Man your stations, cadets. Set course full space speed for Asteroid 2049.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when the crew of the Polaris attempts a dangerous rescue in space in Part 2 of The Asteroid of Danger. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Al Markham, Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, and Margaret Garland. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun and directed by Drex Himes. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
this is ABC, the American Broadcasting.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
Escape! Designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight we escape to the waterfront of Havana and to an underworld where men live and sometimes die by a bizarre code of their own. As Burnham Carter tells it in his exciting story, Night in Havana. Something was wrong. Halfway up the street of Pious Works that evening, I realized that something was wrong. None of the regulars were to be seen. Assuredly, something was wrong. But what? And then I remembered that since I had decided to live an honest life, it was really no concern of mine. As I came abreast of the Why Worry restaurant, I saw the Dutchman, Maru, who owned a cabin cruiser and who was, consequently, a man of some prominence in the smuggling trade. He was standing on the weighing machine near the door, slapping it with his big hands.
Tio, you have a penny?
A penny? See, here.
Thanks. 193 pounds. When I reach 195, I'll switch from beer to coffee. When I hit 190, I go back to beer.
It's like the rise and fall of the tide in Havana Harbor.
2 pounds of beer to go. If you're headed for the Cafe Mosca, I'll join you.
Well, bueno. Hey, come along.
Tio, got a few dollars to lend me?
I have not seen any money in weeks. I was hoping to find a purchaser for my gun this evening.
Oh, Tio, you're kidding. You're going to sell your gun?
See?
How will you live?
Honestly.
Honestly,
Maru,
you...
Please, you are attracting attention. Quiet, you have attracted attention. Quiet.
What?
The police, Lieutenant Molina across the street.
Oh, here they come. Who's that with him?
Sergeant Ortiz, newly promoted, very ambitious, and... No, I missed a highlight game last night, Maru. I remained at home and read instead.
You, stand where you are.
Why, it is Lieutenant Molina and Sergeant...
Search these ones, Sergeant.
Nothing, Lieutenant. This one conceals nothing.
You see, I lead a dull and peaceful life.
I see that you do. Use your handkerchief, Tio. Your lips bleeding. They seem upset.
I bear them no ill will. They have a hard life, too. It is still bleeding, huh?
Yeah. You can doctor it at the Cafe Mosca.
They must have been told to get someone for something.
You know, I held my breath during that frisk. I was afraid you might be carrying your gun.
I was? But when I saw them coming toward us, I put it in your pocket.
Oh.
May I have it now, please?
Here. That is not what I would call honorable, Tio.
Maru, there is so little honor in this world that one is just not able to toss it about indiscriminately. Tell me, does my lip look bad?
It's beginning to swell.
Amalia will be very upset.
Amalia? Who owns the Mosca?
Yes, we are betrothed.
No, I did not know that. Congratulations.
Gracias.
Come. I buy you a beer. Come on, step up to the bar.
Later, Brad. Thank you, but now I must see Amalia.
Your little one. Oh, I see your lip.
Did nothing, Amalia. Nothing. The police were in a petulant mood. There is nothing.
The police, yes, they were here. Lieutenant. Wait, he gave me his card. Yes, Lieutenant Molina.
Tell me, did he mention the cause of all this ill feeling?
An American tourista, a very rich one, a very gay one. She has been robbed.
And so soon after the police chief let it be known that American tourists were not to be robbed. Amalia, what did she lose?
An emerald. An emerald of great size.
Oh.
She had it in her purse, left the purse in the Cafe Diablo. Tio, you had nothing to do with this matter, did you?
Oh, no, my fair one, nothing. I wish I had.
You promised, Tio, you promised.
I know, but... Amalia, it's not easy to be honest. I would have been honest years ago. Could I have earned money at it?
Little one, listen to me. After each of your transactions, they have kept you in the jail. It is like my account books. One malefaction, one payment in jail.
See.
Now you owe them nothing. There are no debts.
But you have a debt. The mortgage of $2,100 on this cafe.
Oh, let that be. Little by little we shall pay it.
But there is my pride to consider, my dove. To this marriage, you bring the Cafe Mosca. I bring nothing.
Ay, Tio. You bring your love. Is that nothing?
Oh, in your eyes it is much, see, but in the eyes of the bank, it's nada. Who is this American tourista who carries emeralds in her purse? Huh?
Oh, Mrs. Turner. She is here with her husband. They have great wealth. They came from Miami in their own cruiser. It is called the Seabird, and it is almost as large as Maru's. Tio, promise me you will not become involved.
I promise that if I do, It will be within the law.
Oh, little one, I beg
It will be within the law, I swear it to you. Did Lieutenant Molina mention a reward?
No. He said that if I acquired information concerning the emerald, I was to inform either him or Mr. and Mrs. Turner at the Hotel Flores.
Well, perhaps it would be best to learn whether there is a reward and of a size sufficient to warrant time and effort. I am going to see Senor Turner, Amalie.
Tio, little one, I am afraid.
Oh, there is nothing to fear. An honest man need never have anything to fear. Let me have Lieutenant Molina's card, my dove. It may help me to impress the Americans.
Yes?
Senor Stern.
Yeah?
I am Lieutenant Molina of the secret police. My card.
Well, come in, Lieutenant Molina. Tell me, is there another detective with that name? It seems to me...
Well, it is a common patron name, like in your country, Smith.
Yeah. Well, have you found the emerald?
Regrettably, senor, no. But I would like to talk about it.
And I'll call my wife. She's the one who lost it. The knucklehead. Lucille!
Here I am. Don't yell so, Ducky.
This is Lieutenant Molina of the secret police.
It is a great honor, senora.
Just see that, Ducky. It's just by hand.
I saw. Sit down, Lieutenant. You care for a drink?
No, thank you. Not while on duty.
Well, what's on your mind, Lieutenant? My wife and I have a dinner date
It has
tonight.
occurred to us, the chief and I, that although we will, of course, eventually catch the thief, it will take some time. You understand, there are 1,000 rat holes and rats of many nations and much cunning.
We don't have much time. Mrs. Sterner and I are leaving Havana tomorrow afternoon.
And that brings me precisely to my point, the matter of a reward.
Oh, no. Not another nickel. If I can't grease the wheels with $750, they just won't be greased. I'm a reasonable man, Lieutenant, but I'm no sucker.
Of course you are not. 750.
Ducky, I'm sure the lieutenant knows his business. If he thinks the reward ought to be boosted, then boost it. I want that emerald back.
Now, look, Lucille,
Would 1,000 be better, Lieutenant?
Oh, indeed it would, senora.
Then offer 1,000, Ducky.
You see, senor Stenner, whether I go between...
Yeah, I know how it works. Okay, call it 1,000.
$1,000? It would not pay the mortgage on the Cafe Mosca, of course, but considering that virtue is said to be its own reward for being, it was handsome. I spent the next 2 hours seeking knowledge of the emerald, but the activities of the police had forced the best of the regulars into hiding, and I learned nothing. And then, as I was walking along the Street of Souls in the old city, a voice spoke to me from the darkness of the gateway to the ancient convent known as El Corazon.
Tio Martinez?
Your servant, senor.
Got a matter we'd like to talk to you about.
We?
Him and me.
Oh, your pardon. I could not see your friend in the shadows.
We got a mutual acquaintance. Georgie Young.
Georgie Young? Oh, see. I have not seen him since the profitable years of Prohibition.
Before we left Miami, he said to look you up if we ever needed someone to work an angle. He gave us his letter of introduction.
Oh, thank you. Strike a match, please.
Yeah.
A little closer, please. Dear friend Tio, these muchachos are okay. I have a deal with them, just like in the old days, Georgie. Well, you know my name. What is yours?
Moore, Gus Moore. My name's none of your business. Stop it, Leo, will you? His name's Leo Watts. We only been here in Cuba a little while.
You said that you needed somebody to work an angle.
Yeah. We got a shipment on the Florida coast, just beyond Key West. We want it brought here tonight. There's 400 rifles.
Please. I am not interested in the nature of your cargo. You tell me that you are importers, and that is all an honest man need know.
Yeah.
Is it Georgie Young who provides you with the merchandise?
Yeah.
Just like in the old days. It can be done, gentlemen, but it will cost money, of course. $1,500.
That's highway robbery. Let me rough him up a little. Stop it, Leo, will you? Okay, Martinez, $1,500. Cash on delivery.
Half of it now.
$300 now.
I'm sorry, no.
Well, that's all the cash we have.
How do you propose to get more?
How much is this worth?
The American Tourista's Emerald.
Huh?
What's so funny?
Oh, just the ways of fortune. I'm sorry you would not understand.
You talk too much.
Yeah. See, one of my great failings.
I can fix that.
Cut it out, Leo. Well, how about it? That rock's worth more than $1,200.
Oh, much more. But the question is, what can one unload it for? Tell me, how did you acquire this?
Oh, a dame I picked up at a bar while the husband was dead drunk. Well?
I will make the arrangements. You give me $300 on the emerald.
Yeah, you get the $300 now as a binder. I'll hand you the stone when you've delivered.
Very well, I agree. Now, you listen carefully to me. You will both meet me at the Café Mosca at 11 o'clock. Mm-hmm. We shall drive from there to a certain beach where we pick up the boat. Is that clear?
Yeah. Leo will meet you.
And you?
Oh, I'm staying at Havana. I got to make arrangements for the truck. I'll meet the boat when it comes back and hand over the emerald. Just tell me where.
The beach at Marianao. There's a dirt road. You cannot miss this. Now, 3 hours to Key West, 15 minutes to load, 3 hours back to Cuba. Mm-hmm. The boat will arrive at Marianao by 5 tomorrow morning. Is it well?
Yeah. Here's your $300.
Much thanks, senor.
You know what I do to chappies who talk too much?
Stop it, Leo, will you? He'll meet you at the Mosque at 11.
It will be my pleasure. Well, is that coffee you drink, Maru?
Oh, sit down, Theo. Sit down. Yeah, it's coffee, all right. I hit 195 a half hour ago.
Well,
what's up?
If you are not too busy tonight, there's a little shipment to be moved in from Key West.
Oh, how much?
$1,000 for you.
And for you?
Only 100.
Go on. What do you think? I'm stupid?
Oh, you are a devil. One can hide nothing from you. Very well, I receive 150.
You.
Easy to deal.
What time do we leave?
Around 11.
I'll have the boat ready just off Guanabaco. You know the dock, sir?
Yes.
Bring the 1,000 with you.
I will give you the 1,000 tomorrow, soon after we return.
Bring it with you, or we do not even leave. Well?
I will bring it with me.
Good. Have some coffee.
No, gracias. It is necessary now to see Amelia. Until 11, then.
Until 11.
Theo, I was worried, little one. You were gone so long.
Oh, I had much business to transact. Oh, Amelia, I am working on a deal, a very big deal. So big that I need $1,000 to swing it.
Theo.
See, I have 300 and I need 700 more. Amelia, will you lend it to me?
I have but 800 in the whole world.
Well, lend me 7. Oh, if this deal proceeds as planned, Amelia, you and I will be married this week, and then I shall settle down as an honest cafe keeper.
Oh, Theo, for that I would give all the money there is.
Where is this boat? I don't see it.
Impatient, Senor Walsh. It's the end of the dock.
A dock, he calls it. Some crummy dock.
No, quiet, please. Maru.
Here, Theo.
Captain Maru, this is Senor Leo Walsh.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You, have some money, Theo?
Here. $1,000 as agreed. Senor Walsh will guide you to the exact spot at Key West. And, gentlemen, I wish you both a good journey.
Save your wishes for somebody else. You're coming with us.
No. I make it a point never
I say you are, so does this.
I have a repugnance for guns between associates.
And I don't trust people who talk so much. You're coming with us. Now get in.
I shall do as you say.
All right, now you, Skipper.
Thank you.
Some tub.
You'll never see a faster one.
How fast?
40 knots.
All right, shove off. How come you're so quiet, big mouth?
Oh, I was just thinking. I was thinking that the life of honesty contains almost as much interest as the kind I have formerly led.
In just a moment, we will return to Escape. But first, a favorite program with CBS listeners who want to keep abreast of the times is the News Report by Alan Jackson, broadcast every Sunday morning over most of these same CBS stations. Jackson is one of CBS's ace reporters who has covered important world events in New York, London, and Berlin. Now stationed in CBS Washington News Bureau, Alan Jackson brings you the news in a clear, informed manner that has become a CBS tradition. Remember to listen this Sunday to Alan Jackson and the News, a regular CBS feature.
Tune in this fall for the shows that you love best of all. Listen carefully, here's the address. It's CBM CBS.
And now back to Escape and the second act of Night in Havana.
In 3 hours, we were passing through the Florida Keys. Maru had no difficulty in following Senor Walsh's directions. There was a place where a finger of land got into the water, an old rum runner's landing base, which I remembered well. A truck was waiting, and 3 men who came forward as we tied to the dock of rotting planks. Senor Walsh spoke to them briefly, and in 10 minutes the heavy crates were on board and we were off again, clearing the land quietly at a low speed and then roaring into the open.
Come on, pour it on.
I'm giving it full throttle now. Relax, Sonny.
Listen, squarehead.
You talking to me?
Who else? I don't like for you to call me Sonny.
I do it because you're so bright.
How would you like a third eye?
Senor Walsh, Maru, enough. Carry this as far as you please once we are on shore, but until then...
Yeah, we will go into it first after we
I led them to the squabbling, stretched out on the bench in the cockpit, my head on my arms, gazing into the sky, and soothed by the powerful hum of the engines, so steady that they were in themselves a sort of silence. I thought of Amalia, and how soft and comfortable she was, and that we were both at the right age for marriage. Steady people who knew that what we had was worth a dozen romantic flights to the moon. And I thought of how now there would be a little money for the raising of the mortgage and the Café Mosca. And then I dozed. And then...
What's the matter? How come you cut the motor?
Shut up. Theo, are you awake? Do you hear?
See. Where are your binoculars?
Binoculars? What are you looking for?
Coast Guard.
Where are we, Maru?
About 2 miles off the coast between Matanzas and Havana.
I see them. They're to the west, about the same distance south. What is the time?
4:20. Sun will be up in less than 2 hours. Which way are they heading?
I cannot... Well, there's a searchlight. They see us.
They were tipped off. They were looking for us. Somebody talked. Martinez?
Shut up.
It's radar. They're also equipped. I have heard that. They come toward us.
Dump the cargo. When they come, we've been fishing.
No, every cent I got is tied up in those boxes.
I said dump the gun.
And I said no. We'll run for it. This boat's faster than that one.
At this angle, they have us cut off from the open sea. If we go west, we pass Havana. If we go east, Matanzas. As soon as we move, the radio for help, we call.
And I said we'll run for it. Now take the wheel, fat boy, and pour it on. But on. They're moving fast.
I command you.
No, you don't. This does. Get back to the wheel.
Careful, Maru. Careful. He's frightened.
Put away your gun, Sonny.
Stand where you are.
I said... Shoot me, will you?
Enough, Maru, enough. His spine has cracked like a banana stalk. Enough, I say.
Gio, I hurt bad.
Lie down here. Let me see.
Well?
Ugly, Maru. Very ugly.
Help me to the wheel.
Yeah.
Then drop the dinghy and row to shore. I try to make it back to Key West.
You need care immediately. We'll both go to shore in the dinghy.
But my boat, the Coast Guard...
I will turn it out to sea and set the throttles. She'll give them a run for their money.
But when they overtake us, they'll find the cargo. They know the boat is mine.
One step at a time, Maru. At the moment, we will do as I say. First, we feed Senor Walsh to the fishes. Then the dinghy goes over the side. Then you and I. I landed the dinghy only a short distance below the place where I'd left the car. Before 5:30, Maru was in good hands, and I was at the Flores Hotel, knocking at the door of the suite occupied by Senor and Senora Stern. At that moment, I would have surrendered all thoughts of profit for this night's labor in return for assurance that only Amalia's $700 would not be lost.
Lieutenant Molina, this is a sweet...
I give you 1,000 apologies, Senor. Only an emergency forces me to do this. We can't get your emerald now. Do you understand?
Yeah, sure. But
Only we need your cruiser. You must come with me in your cruiser. And now, I assure you it is our only chance. There is no danger, senor.
All right, I'll get dressed.
I'll be waiting for you across the street in the black touring car. You come quickly, wear dark clothes, bring the money. But quickly, senor, quickly.
Where are we going?
We are bound for the beach called Marianao.
Never heard of it.
Has a wooden pier. Should be just about light enough to distinguish. We arrived. Hey, you have brought the cash.
Yeah. How much do I have to pay?
The maximum, senor, $1,000. They would not do it for less, I am sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't think you could keep him down even to that. Am I on course?
Yes, exactly on course. We are almost there. I think that you had better give me the money now.
Yeah, it's in my right hip pocket, Lieutenant. Help yourself.
Much thanks. Senor, I am sorry that our regional laxity in guarding the possessions of your wife has put you to all this trouble.
No, forget it. It's one piece with the rest of the trip. I've had a lousy time.
Oh, I am most sorry. We naturally prefer to have the touristas love Cuba.
No, it's not your fault. I was mostly too drunk to see any.
I have always tried. Senor, there is more than $1,000 in this pocket. There is 1,100.
Oh, yeah. I meant to tell you. The thousands for the emerald, the other hundreds for you, for all of your courtesy and attention.
Oh, regulations forbid me to accept, senor. But since it would be discourteous, much thanks. We are past Hamanitas now, I think. Yes, there is the dock at Maranao. Hey, let me take the wheel.
There's someone on shore is blinking a light there. 3 times.
I have noticed.
Hey, what are you doing? Heading out to sea?
No. I will back in. So. And now comes the most important part, senor. Now, when I bring the boat to a halt at the dock, you must take the wheel and keep your hand on the throttle with the motor running. And when I say to you, now, you throw in the clutch and full speed ahead. Do you understand, senor?
Well, sure, but why? It's all arranged, isn't it?
See, it is arranged, and this is the most crucial part of the arrangement.
Okay, whatever you say, Lieutenant.
All right, you take the wheel. Now remember, keep your hand on the throttle.
Don't forget easy.
Here comes my man along the dock now. Remember, when I say now.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get this over with.
Senor Moore?
Martinez?
See, everything has gone well.
West Watch.
At the wheel.
Oh, good. Throw me a line to get my boys to start unloading.
First, before you tie us up, we will conclude our affair, huh? You have the emerald for me?
Oh, yeah. Here, take it.
Good. Much thanks. Here is our cable. Make fast the boat, huh?
Yeah, I got it.
Now, senor, now! Lie down on the deck.
What?
But quickly, you will not be surprised forever. Lie down, stay there.
Well, I don't understand.
I think we'll soon be out of range.
You lead an interesting life, Molina.
It has its moments.
When I saw you handing the cable, I was sure I'd rip the stern off her as soon as I gave it throttle.
Well, senor, I took the precaution to untie it on our side first. Look, the sun is rising. Senor, do you know of any satisfaction to compare with that accompanying a good job well done? 3 days later, I was sitting at a table in the Café Moscow with Maru. His wounds still trouble him, and he had lost much weight. A matter he was remedying as quickly as he could.
2 more piers.
Better make it 3. Visitor porches. No. Don't turn your head. It's Lieutenant Molina.
Oh, they found my boat.
You are ready with the story.
It was stolen while I was ill. I know nothing of it.
Bueno. I will testify to it. No, Maru. I have lost my taste for reading. I now spend most evenings at the highlight games, and I find
Captain
that
Maru? Yeah? The Coast Guard has found a boat that belongs to you. Do you have so many that one may be lost without your feeling the necessity of reporting it?
I've been ill. I've not been down to the harbor these 3 days.
I have a question to ask.
Ask it, then.
They found several large crates on board.
They did?
Do you know what we discovered in them? Scrap metal.
Scrap metal? I use it for ballast. Careful, dear.
Si, to celebrate my wedding, which occurs this afternoon.
So I have heard. You are going to lead an honest life, Tio?
Si. I have been experimenting with it, and I find that it suits me.
Well, keep it confidential. Otherwise, the budget for the police department may be cut to the bone.
Goodbye, Lieutenant. Go with God.
Heard what he said. His crates contain scrap metal.
I'm not surprised. In the note my friend George Young sent to me, he wrote that he was in on a deal just like in the old days.
Huh?
Well, in the old days, he sold many a bootlegger barrels of whiskey which contained only water.
Oh.
In that way, you see, he did not break the law and may be said to have earned his money honorably. As I may be said to do, too.
You call owning a cafe earning money honorably?
Well, it depends on the clientele.
Huh?
And in that respect, Maru, perhaps it would be better after the wedding, of course, if you took your custom elsewhere.
Suppose I tell you that from now on I will be as honest as you yourself. Will you let me patronize this bar?
Oh, gladly, Maru. But, of course, I will be doubly watchful of the cash register.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Night in Havana by Burnham Carter, adapted for radio by Walter Brown Newman. Featured in the cast were Tony Barrett as Tio, Alan Reed as Maru, and Janet Nolan as Amelia and Mrs. Sterner. Also heard were Ted Von Eltz, Bill Conrad, Jeff Corey, and Jack Webb. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week...
You are tortuously worming your way inch by inch through a narrow pipe deep under the ground, unable to turn back, not knowing what lies ahead. Possible death or escape.
Next week, we escape with William Corcoran's grim story, The Blue Wall. Good night, then, until the same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Young and old benefit by the Community Chest Red Feather Services. When you make your contribution this year, you'll be helping to support the Boy and Girl Scouts, the YMCA, and the YWCA, child guidance clinics and day nurseries. So give generously to the Red Feather Services. Stay tuned now for Sing It Again, which follows immediately over most of these same CBS stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are walking through a warehouse at the Terra spaceport where two suspected criminals are standing by the controls of a loading train.
That's Sanker, all right, Commander. Yes, I wonder just how much of that cargo up there on the train is stolen.
Probably plenty of it.
Uh-oh. He sees us.
Just a minute, Sanker.
Lieutenant, release that holding brake. Drop the load down there.
Look out, Hap. Move! We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, Formula for Crime.
sirree, Space Patrollers, Rice Chex is a 3-count winner. Tops them all 3 ways. Tops for taste. Sunny Gold shredded rice toasted 3 times for that luscious, fresh from the oven flavor. A triple treat, a super treat, out of your breakfast bowl, out of the red and white checkerboard box for snacks. Tops for size. Bite-sized biscuits, modern in design. 3D because they're hollow inside. Filled right up with milk or cream. Streamlined for easy, breezy eating. Tops for get up and go. The kind of get up and go that helps to make you a winner by a wide margin. A real Space Patroller like Commander Corey and Cadet Happy. So, gang, why don't you win with a winner? Start eating Rice Chex right now. For breakfast, out of the bowl. For snacks, out of the box. Be a go-getter. Go get Rice Chex. And for a neat whole wheat treat, go get Wheat Chex. Bite-size and power-rich. A real winner because it's tops for taste, tops for size, tops for get up and go. Look for Rice Chex and Wheat Chex in the red and white checkerboard boxes with the picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, Formula for Crime. Are you in the market for Jupiter Jade? Are you trying to locate a set of Martian silverware? You need a pair of horns from a Venus water buffalo. Then one visit to the office of Interplanet Procurement Corporation will solve your problems. At least so is the claim of Eric Zanker, president of the firm. If you ask Mr. Zanker what channels he uses or what methods he employs to obtain these out-of-the-ordinary items, he will smile mysteriously and murmur something about trade secrets. At this moment, in his office on Terra, Eric Zanker is not smiling, and his tone, as he speaks to chemist Gant Hanlon, is pitched somewhat above a murmur.
You're an idiot, Hanlon. If you think the Space Patrol was following you, why did you come here?
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Zanker. Let me finish. I'm only following your orders, Mr. Zanker. You told me to come here and report as soon as I found out how Alpha Chemical was shipping out that vitrolytic acid.
Just be careful, Hanlon. Did you get that information?
It's all written down. I've marked the best point in and kept the shipment.
Good. I'll work out a plan of attack later. Now, about this special formula.
Well, one of the lab chemists was working on it several months ago. He's got it locked up.
If it will do what you say it will, we've got to have it at any cost. Can you bribe this girl, this Mardis Rendell?
Let me work on it, Zanker. I'll come up with something.
In the experimental laboratory of the Alpha Chemical Company, Gant Hanlon waits until the other technicians have left. Then he speaks to Mardis Rendell.
I'm going to knock off for dinner. How about you, Mardis?
Well, thanks. I'll work a while longer, Mr. Conlon.
You're the time an hour already. Take 30 minutes. Stockholders of Alpha Chemical will never miss it.
I happen to be interested in this experiment, Mr. Conlon. I can't leave now. I'm right at a critical point in this test.
Yeah, that's the trouble with you, Mardis. You're always at a critical point. What about that experiment you were working on 2 weeks ago? You worked night after night on your own time, then shelved it. All that time wasted digging your way into a blind alley.
In pure research, Mr. Conlon, there are no blind alleys. Behind every blank wall is a new truth.
Yeah. And while you're tearing down blank walls, the front office is yelling, "Get on with the project." Discovery of yours. The one you locked up, what was it about?
I'd rather not discuss it right now, Mr. Conlon.
It's a new chemical, one that's been dead in the higher centers of the brain.
Why, isn't it unethical to read someone else's private lab notes, Mr. Conlon?
Look, kid, I'm on your side. You got a gold mine there. Turn it over to the scientists, and you can make a fortune.
It hasn't been thoroughly tested. And anyway, I'm working for Alpha Chemical. The discovery isn't mine to sell.
If it belongs to Alpha Chemical, why don't you turn the data over to the front office? Why hold out on it?
I'm not holding out. I discovered Formula G3...
Yeah. Formula G3 code. One.
I see you know my private code. Well, all right. I discovered Formula G3K by accident while I was working on another project. But it's potentially dangerous. Until I find a way to control its effects, I'm keeping it locked up.
But, Mardis, as a scientist, it isn't your responsibility to invent a remedy for the possible bad effects of your discovery.
Is it your responsibility to tell me my responsibility?
Now you're just getting pig-headed. That's the thanks I get for trying to tell you how it makes it.
Mr. Conlon, I'm frankly not interested in real money, as you call it. Not on Formula G3K.
I think you really mean that. All right, Mardis, be a company girl. Let your brains and youth and good looks boil away in those test tubes and beakers. Someday you'll wish you listened to me. I'm going out to get something to eat.
The following morning in Space Patrol headquarters on Terra, Commander Corey receives a visit from Martis Randall.
Yes, Miss Randall. I've received a report on the fire and explosion in the Alpha Chemical Company lab. Happy you find that building. Yes, sir. As I recall, Miss Randall, the report listed the cause as accidental.
That's what the lab superintendent decided, Commander.
And you think differently, Greta?
I don't know. When I came to work this morning and saw the damage, it looked like an accidental fire.
Here it is, Commander. The report says probable cause, defective wiring and temporary test circuit. Failure of thermostat control. Exact cause undetermined due to almost total destruction of laboratory. Signed by your lab superintendent and our inspector.
They could be right. Perhaps I'm making things complicated.
Go on, Miss Randall.
Well, there was a metal cabinet in the lab where I kept some private records and chemicals. The heat had damaged the inside of the cabinet, exploded most of the components.
Yes?
I think something was missing from that cabinet.
Not destroyed by heat, just plain missing.
That's right, Commander. You see, I've been working privately on a substance I call Formula G3K. If used properly by doctors and psychiatrists, it could be of great benefit to science.
How?
It deadens the higher control centers of the brain without affecting the sensory or the motor nervous system. Under the influence of this chemical, a person would behave on a purely emotional basis. He would react according to basic instincts or his conditioned reflexes.
The doctor could tell how a person wants to react, or how he would react if he weren't held back by reason or conscience.
Exactly. It could be a quick way to determine personality conflict.
You mean if I wanted to slug somebody, I'd go right ahead and do it and not worry about what people would think?
Well, that's a good, rough example.
Naturally, a doctor would never like to get into trouble.
Oh, no. But in the wrong hands, this chemical could be used for evil purposes. Its effects make a person subject to suggestion.
And they do things against their better judgment.
Yes. For a time, their better judgment wouldn't exist. And that's why I kept Formula G3K a secret, until I found a way to control it.
Miss Randall, you think someone may have stolen this formula and started the fire in an attempt to cover up the theft?
Yes, I do.
Who else besides yourself knew about that formula?
One of the lab technicians. Only last night he tried to talk me into selling it. He got rather angry when I refused.
What's this man's name?
Conley. Gant Conley. But I have no proof that he did anything wrong.
But don't worry, Miss Randall. We'll check up on Gant Conley. He's innocent. He hasn't anything to fear.
At the office of the Interplanetary Procurement Corporation, behind locked doors, Gant Conlon shows a notebook to Eric Zanker. Before them, on the desk, is a plastic bottle containing a violet-colored liquid.
Well, there you are, Mr. Zanker. Complete facts of the formula. G3K. How to use it, what it does, and how to make it.
That's fine, Conley. But will it be missed? That's quite important, you know.
You should see that lab. After I took what I wanted out of the cabinet, I fixed things so that accidental fire would destroy it.
Good. Now, how do we administer this stuff and skip the scientific details?
An ordinary ultrasonic intruder will do the trick. Unless the victim sees the gadget, he won't even know what's happening.
And he'll do anything we tell him after the treatment?
Just read Martis Randall's experiments. Formula G3K will make him tell us anything we want to know or perform any act we suggest right away.
Before we put it into practical use, I want to make a few tests. And Mars will be an ideal place.
Why Mars?
First, because it's several million views from Corey's headquarters here on Terra. Second, because one of my ships is now being loaded at the spaceport. When it's ready to blast off for Mars, we'll be aboard.
Buzz and Happy are walking through warehouse number 5 at the Terra spaceport. Cargo is being hoisted from platforms by giant loading cranes and placed on cargo trucks that will take them to waiting space freighters.
It sure is a busy place, Commander. The man didn't know his way around. He could get hurt awful easy. Keep inside the yellow line. You'll be okay. This is Section 4 we're passing now. The next one is Gantor's. Maybe Martis Randall's suspicions of Conlon weren't wrong after all. Funny that he'd be having so many dealings with Zanker when Conlon's just a lab technician for Alpha Chemical. There's Zanker, Happy, standing on a platform up ahead. While I'm talking to him, you take that list and check the cargo. Yes, sir. With Zanker personally supervising the loading, he's probably got some hijacked stuff in there. Well, one more truckload out to do it, Conlon. Then we can blast off for Mars.
Where's the train operator?
He's knocked out for a few minutes. Anyway, that's our last load out there.
Hanging from the train?
Yeah. When the next empty truck pulls out, we lower the load and the job's finished.
Believe me, I'll be glad when we blast off from Mars.
Harry, turn this way quick.
No.
Looks like trouble. Here comes Corey and the Cadet.
We better get out of here.
Wait. If we run now, they have us for sure.
What are we going to do? Since we aren't here to invite us for a lunch, the officers...
Just take it easy. Look, a few more steps and they'll be right under the crane. There's about 6 tons of cargo out there, right over their heads.
Hank, are you crazy?
Shut up! Get out of the way. All I've got to do is release this holding brake and the load drops.
Look, I'm getting out of this right now. I never figured...
You're in this with me. In a couple of seconds, we'll both get away.
Franco, I want to talk to you.
Here it goes!
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
This is Dick Tufeld reporting on the twin-jet Air Force fighter, the McDonnell Voodoo XF-88A. In a moment, we'll hear from the noted test pilot who flies this plane, Phil Houghton. Speed of the Voodoo is a military secret, but it's plenty fast. Wingspan is 40 feet, length 55, weight 10 tons. And now, Phil Houghton recorded at Lambert Airfield.
After seeing the Voodoo, I guess you know why I like my job. There's one thing about it, though. The test pilot has to stay in good condition, get lots of sleep, and eat good, healthy food. That's why I like rice checks and wheat checks for breakfast. They've got plenty of energy in them, and they really taste well. I think you'll like them, too.
Make sure you stay in condition the way Phil Houghton, J. Ray Donahue, Jr., and other top test pilots do. Every morning, eat a good, nourishing breakfast with rice checks or wheat checks, the cereals that are tops 3 ways. Tops for taste, for size, for real get up and go. That's checks, rice or wheat. Remember, they're tops with America's top pilots.
And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, Formula for Crime. Buzz and Happy go to a warehouse at the Terra Spaceport, where Zanker is supervising the loading of a spaceship. As the Space Patrollers walk under a loading crane, Zanker releases the holding brake, and the 6-ton load of cargo hurtles down upon them.
That's Zanker, all right. We'll have
Look
to...
out, Hap! Ooh!
The rockets. If you hadn't pushed me out of the way, I'd be under that mess.
You're okay, Hap. Let's get Zanker.
Yes, sir. Hey, he's gone.
He can't be very far away.
What's that?
The emergency alarm.
Somebody must have turned it in when the cargo dropped.
Zanker deliberately tried to drop that load on us.
The whole warehouse is in an uproar. Look, people are rushing in all directions. We'll never find Zanker in this mess.
Get to a phone, Happy. Alert Space Patrol headquarters. Come on. A few hours later at Space Patrol headquarters, Buzz and Happy stand by for reports from the Space Patrol agents who are searching the spaceport and other parts of Terra for Zanker and Conlon.
Nothing on either of them yet, Hap. Zanker must have got away from spaceport before we could alert the guards.
At least they can't leave the planet. Space Control has ordered to have every private freight and passenger ship checked before clearing for blasting.
I wonder who it was with Zanker.
I don't know. We've got 3 men watching Zanker's office. If he or anybody else shows up, they'll be mad. Space Patrol headquarters, Commander Corey here.
This is Martis Randall. I'm afraid I gave you a wrong lead yesterday in regard to the fire at the laboratory.
About Conlon, you mean?
Yes. He's not the man you're looking for.
Perhaps not, but he keeps some pretty strange company for an honest chemist. How do you know Conlon is in the clear?
I have some new information, Commander.
All right, let's have it.
I can't give it to you over the phone. I'll explain in detail when you get here.
When I get there.
It's very urgent, and I can't come to your office.
Where are you?
At my home, 618 Orion Way. It's just 2 blocks west of Terra Boulevard. I can't possibly tell you any more right now. I just have to talk to you personally. Right away. Another hour may be too late.
All right, Miss Randall. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Corey out.
I wonder what she found out. She didn't sound excited or in danger.
What I've seen of her, Martis Randall seems pretty level-headed and competent. Something's wrong. Better get over there. Have you stay here in case we get a lead on Zanker.
Yes, sir.
I'll check back with you from Miss Randall's case.
Come in, Commander.
Thank you, Miss Randall.
It was good of you to come so quickly.
It certainly was, Commander. Get your hands up.
Thanks.
Yes.
Just remember there are 2 ray guns covering you. This one and one in the next room.
What's the setup here, Miss Randall? Are you in the Zanco?
I am the Zanco?
Marty, sit down. Sit down and remain quiet.
Yes, Zanco.
What have you done to her?
Have you ever heard of Formula G3K?
You got her under the influence of that chemical.
Exactly. And you're next. Conlon.
Yeah.
Come in here and bring the infuser.
So you're Conlon. You were with Zanker at the warehouse.
That's right, Corey.
I've got quite a score to settle with both of you for what you tried to do to Happy and me.
Conlon, I'll keep him covered while you use the infuser on him.
Roll up your sleeve, Corey. This won't hurt a bit. Come on, let's have that arm.
All right. You're not going to shoot that stuff into me. Bagger, get him off me. Use the rigger.
No, it's what's putting him out too long. Break loose, Zanker.
Drop that gadget, Conlon. Bagger, do something.
Let him. This jam will slow him down. There.
Nearly broke my wrist.
Never mind that. Pick up the infuser. I want Corey under control when he comes to.
All right. I'm not sure the chemical will work on him.
Of course it will. Now, Martis, you just sit there and keep quiet.
Yes, Zanco.
Or his arms are ready. Use the infuser.
Okay.
It's very neat, this ultrasonic infuser. Doesn't even break the skin or leave a mark.
I think he's coming to.
Good. We'll give the chemical time to take effect. Then we'll give him his instructions.
Space Patrol Headquarters, Commander Corey's office. Cadet Happy here.
Happy, this is Commander Corey.
Yes, sir. Everything all right?
Everything's under control, Happy. Now listen carefully. Go to the spaceport immediately and see that Terra 5 is ready to blast off.
Yes, sir. Where are we going?
I'm going alone, Happy. Just learned something very interesting. I'll tell you about it when I get back.
Fine, Commander.
For the time being, no one is to know about this flight. No one, understand?
Yes, sir.
I'll give special instructions to Space Control when I get to the spaceport. Now, one more thing. I've got an errand for you to run. There are some papers in file H7 on the Henderson case. Take them to the Research Records Division and have 6 microfilm copies made of them.
Research records. That's in the Michelson building on the south side of the city, isn't it?
Right. Wait there until the job's done, and deliver those microfilms to the first 6 addresses on the distribution sheet. Got that?
Yes, sir, but I thought the Henderson case was...
I'm in a hurry, Hap. Just follow orders.
Yes, sir. I'll go to the spaceport right away and check the ship.
Fine, Hap. Corey out.
Half an hour later, at the Terra spaceport, Commander Corey strides toward the Terra 5. With him are 2 men who walk close to Buzz, watching him carefully as he returns the salutes of various Space Patrol personnel. The men engage in light conversation, masking their tenseness, until they board the spaceship and close the hatch.
Well, worst of it's over, Zanker.
Yeah. All right, Corey. Get to the controls and blast off.
I'll check with Space Control.
You are making a special flight to Mars, to Lobo City. Is that clear?
Perfectly. This flight is to be logged under secret operations until further official notice.
Jack. All right, get busy.
You trust him?
Sure. Can you handle that call to the cadet just as I instructed? With the G3K and him, he'll follow orders to the letter.
I hope so. I still think we should have brought the girl along, though.
What for? She served her purpose. The way we tied her up in her apartment, we'll be safely away from her long before she gets loose.
It's a great idea you're making Corey take us in his own ship.
Sure. And even if we had been recognized, who's going to interfere with the business of the Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol?
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 calling Space Control.
Space Control here. Go ahead, Commander.
Request permission to blast off immediately. Destination Mars.
Space lock number 2 is clear, sir.
Log this flight under secret operations file until further notice. Enter 2 unidentified civilian passengers under Technical Space Patrol custody as per Regulation 185-D.
Very good, Commander. May blast off when ready. Space Control out.
Great. When we're clear of Terra, we'll order Corey to change vector for Jupiter's 4th moon. High rockets, Corey. Corey doesn't know it's coming, but this is his last flight.
Cadet Happy stands before the door of an apartment at 618 Orion Way. On his face, an expression of worried indecision, for he has deliberately disobeyed an order from Commander Corey. Finally, his mind made up, he knocks at the door.
Who is it?
Cadet Happy. Is Commander Corey there?
No.
Will you open the door? I want to talk to you.
Come in.
It's locked. I say it's locked. You'll have to let me in.
I can't. I'm tied up.
You mean you're busy?
No, tied up with rope.
Smoking rockets. Why didn't you say so? Miss Randall. Miss Randall, what happened? Who did this?
Send for and Conlon.
Where's Commander Corey? Wasn't he here? Miss Randall, answer me. Where's the commander?
I don't know.
Well, look, you called the commander at his office. Then he called me. Did he call from here?
I don't know.
Now, look, don't be afraid, Miss Randall. No one's going to hurt you. Where are Zankler and Conlon?
They've gone to Mars.
Mars? They made the commander take them. They made him phone me and get the ship ready, right? Well, you said they were going to Mars. Now, whereabouts on Mars? Lowell City? Come on, tell me.
No, they're not going to Mars. They're going to Jupiter's fourth moon.
Let's have it straight, Miss Randall. Which is it?
It's wearing off now. I can tell you the truth.
What's wearing off?
The formula G3K. They gave something into the commander with an ultrasonic infuser, and they had us under complete control.
All right, they're making the commander take them to Jupiter number 4. You're sure of that?
Yes. They've got a ship hidden there. When they land, they're going to destroy the Terra 5 and commander.
Not if I can help it. I'm going to get a ship and blast off after them.
But they've got a half-hour start.
Well, chances are they set a vector from Mars to make it look good. By the time they correct it to a vector for Jupiter 4... Look, every second counts. You're free now. I'm getting to the spaceport.
That's Moon 4, all right. What's your viewscope reading, Corey?
50,000 DUs.
His anchor will be there in less than an hour.
Yeah. Oh, come back here, Tom, then I want to talk to you.
Okay, what is it?
When Corey lands, you make sure our ship is ready to blast off. Then I'll finish Corey. Conlon, look at the rear view scope.
What's on that tail? The Space Patrol cruiser.
One of Corey's men must have got suspicion. Well, it's too late to back out now. Commander.
Yes?
There's a ship approaching directly behind us. Fire your rear space torpedo gun.
Fire? On that ship? Fine.
You will destroy that ship immediately. Set the rangefinder. That's it.
Gonna do it.
Now, fire.
Miss. Tankery double-crossed us.
No, I think it's the G3K. The chemical is making him obedient, but it's affecting the higher reasoning center of his brain. He made a mistake. Corey, fire again.
Space Patrol Cruiser T-65 calling the Terra 5. Zanker, I've alerted Jupiter Space Patrol. Play it smart and surrender.
Cadet, Happy.
Corey, don't touch the spaceophone.
Commander, if you can hear me, listen. This is Happy. If they're ordering you to fire on the ship off your stern, resist. This is a Space Patrol ship. Do you understand? You're under the influence of a chemical. Formula G3K. Fight it.
Happy, but what's he telling me?
Commander, fire. That's not Happy. You ordered him to stay on Terra, remember?
It's Cadet Happy.
And he disobeyed your orders. He must be punished. Fire that torpedo. That's it. This time you won't miss.
You're right, Zankler. This time I won't miss. Now, Zankler, you're next.
Cadet Happy to Commander Corey. Listen to me, please.
Corey here. Everything's under control, Happy.
Oh, what a relief. What about Zankler and Conlon?
They won't be giving us any more trouble. I hope that torpedo didn't scare you too much.
Who do I thank for the bad marksmanship?
Me. The chemical was wearing off. Your voice really snapped me out of it, Hap.
That's good. I didn't know what to do.
How did you happen to take off after us?
Well, it was what you told me about the Henderson file. That case was closed weeks ago, and yet you told me to chase all over town with useless microfilm. I took a chance and checked with Martis Randall.
Is he all right?
Yes, sir. How come you picked the Henderson file, anyway?
That's lucky I did, but it wasn't intentional. If the G3K formula hadn't deadened my reasoning ability, I might have sent you on a plausible errand. Oh, by the way, under regulations, I can't ignore the fact that you did disobey orders.
No, sir, I guess not.
And according to Regulation 145W, the form of punishment is left to the discretion of the commanding officer.
I understand, sir.
Very well. Your punishment will consist of a 7-day special duty at the Space Patrol Recreation Camp at Lake Azure on Venus. You'll swim, hike, fish, or play ball not less than 1 hour each day, and that, Cadet, is an order.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hurry out.
And
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Hi, Space Patrollers. This is Captain Tufeld.
And Cadet Happy.
I'm reporting to you on Rice Chex.
And I'm reporting to you on Wheat Chex.
Rice Chex. Triple toasted spreaded rice biscuits that taste mighty good. Tops for taste. That's Rice Chex.
Wheat Chex. Boy, they've got a swell whole wheat flavor that can't be beat. Tops for taste. That's Wheat Chex, too.
And Rice Chex are made in that modern, bite-sized design for easy eating. It's tops for size. That's Rice Chex.
Wheat Chex are bite-sized for super easy eating. Tops for size, too.
And after a good, nourishing breakfast with Chex, rice, or wheat, you'll see their tops for get up and go.
Real Space Patrol get up and go, like the Commander has.
Chex, the good word to remember at breakfast time or any time, because
they're tops 3 ways: for taste, size, and get up and go.
So look for the red and white checkerboard packages with the picture of the Commander or
the swell picture of me on the outside. What?
Rice Chex.
Wheat Chex.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are aboard the Terra 5 out in space. Joined to the airlock is another ship whose pilot has identified himself as a Space Patrol agent.
Maybe the break we need tonight. Maybe this agent can tell us where to locate Corbett. That spy ship from Havana.
You'll know in a minute, Hap. Our man's in the airlock.
Get your hands up, both of you.
Corbett.
Let's get him, Hap.
I warned you not to move. Oh. There. That paralyzer ray will prevent any more nonsense. You are prisoners of war. Captives of Tirana.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, Shipment to Tirana, when Rice Chex and Wheat Chex again present Space Patrol. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Timmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Bela Kovach, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Rice Chex and Wheat Chex present exciting action on Space Patrol. This program is broadcast for our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.